What's up, Internet? My name is Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And we have read an entire book in the world of the Stormlight Archive. That's right, welcome to the end of the beginning of the story that has finally begun.
We got to the end of
the
prologue, and I'm proud of us.
You know what? I am as well. I am realizing I don't have chat pulled up, so I have no idea what y'all have said. If you've said anything, probably not, given the last few weeks of this. Everyone has probably left.
They're like, nah, can't do it. Once we get to the actual plot, can't do it.
How is everybody doing this morning? Welcome to the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The book club.
Good morning. B, welcome to the nerd table. We appreciate you.
Wait, someone became a narg?
They did.
Should we change that now that we're like in... Should they be like the Kremlings of the nerd table?
Oh, because we're not doing Wheel of Time anymore. Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Is there? Should they be the like bridge of the nerd table?
We'll just call them Bridge 4.
Bridge 4.
Bridge 4.
Welcome aboard
Welcome
Bridge
to
4.
Bridge 4.
That doesn't feel very creative, though.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I don't know. We can workshop it.
And once in a while I don't swear at you live like I do in chapter reactions. It's because I will get demonetized here, and I don't get demonetized when I do it in the chapter reactions because those are not monetized.
Yeah, we have to thank you for
Gambaros, thank you for those super chat. Nope, memberships.
We got 10 new nargs in the chat.
Bridge score.
But who knows? That title might be workshopped.
What's up, changed. You Chulls and Kremlings? I like Chulls and Kremlings. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What's up, Chulls and Kremlings? My name's Nerdy. That's pretty. That works.
They're nerd sprens.
Oh, nerd spren is pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Nerd sprens popping up all over the meadows and the glen.
Okay. Gonchos.
What's up, Goncho?
Oh my God.
Lopin.
Garen, thank you so much. Hell yeah.
My little Lopey boy.
How we doing, chat? Good morning. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling?
Before we get into it today, there is something in my wife's mouth.
Wow.
And that thing is Gamer Subs, sponsor of today's episode of the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. Gamer Subs is having a sale.
Guys, today is their Christmas in July sale. I believe it starts at 3 p.m. Yeah. Well, there's a photo in the Discord I definitely did share to give people a heads up. We are going to be restocking on all of our flavors today. They also sent us some new ones, which I'm really, really excited about. Yeah. They also have this thing that is a sleep aid that is melatonin free, and it's like it's magnesium based instead, which is really fucking cool. So they're sending us that to try as well. I'll let you know how we like it, if it works, if we feel anything different. But basically today you get a free cup with a tub for their big Christmas in July sale.
So if you would like a waifu cup, like the one my wife puts in her mouth over and over and over in the show, then you should go to gamersubs.gg later today when the sale starts and use code Clarus, that's CLAROOS, to get 10% off your order.
Yeah.
Let them know we sent you over there, and that is how we make money.
Highly recommend actually trying the protein bars. Because a lot of protein bars suck and they're chalky, but these are different because they're made from crickets. That's how they get their protein. But they don't taste like crickets. They actually taste really fucking good. They're like puffed wheat or Rice Krispie. I think, it's either puffed wheat or... No, I think it's rice. I think... I don't remember. But it's not chalky, and it's really fucking good.
We are really good at knowing exactly what is in the stuff that we do ad reads for. Gamersubs.gg. Coupon code Clarus, CLAROOS. Enjoy your life.
Susan, thank you for the super chat. Small incentive to help keep Demon Slayer reactions going at least until episode 19.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I started watching Demon Slayer over on Nerdy Daily.
Damon Slayer.
Damon. Oh my God, I'm an Alex Damon Slayer.
I went Damon from Game of Thrones, but sure.
I went to my friend. I get to see him in a month, and I'm very excited. Demon Slayer, I did start watching Demon Slayer over on Nerdy Daily, my anime reactions channel. It bombed. It was my worst performing episode 1 ever on the channel. No, that's not true. Metallic Rouge was the worst, but I also never watched another episode of that show. And people still want me to keep going on Demon Slayer. The good news for you all is that Holly Wolf, our good friend and OG of the cosplay community, you have probably seen her half naked on the internet somewhere.
If you don't know Holly Wolf, you've definitely seen her somewhere.
You've definitely seen a photo of this woman.
Yeah. She's incredibly talented.
A dear, dear friend. She's sort of like a sister to me at this point. Yeah. And she also has threatened me with violence in multiple locations if I don't continue to react to the show.
Yeah.
So I will lose money on this, but Holly scares me.
Just become a member over there to help pay Brandon.
Yeah.
Look, that's the thing. As long as you're breaking even to pay Brandon, you will continue to do it. That's what matters.
Yeah. So I am being threatened, and I want that on the record, but I know that there's nothing the police can do. She's Holly Wolf, so I will continue to watch the show.
So, Jim, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Early end of the book question, what would cringe Spren look like? I imagine teeth. Yeah.
They wouldn't just be a bunch of little JD Vances running around?
Yes. But I don't know. When I think of cringe, I think of this emoji. And so I'm going to go with teeth. They look like teeth.
Oh, yeah. I just picture the feeling I had when I heard him say, I drank a Diet Dr. Pepper. Democrats probably going to say that's racist. Or no, it's a Diet Mountain Dew. And I just...
Yeah. What a man. What a man.
It is so wild to know that despite the fact that Donald Trump... Well, no, he fucks the couch. The couch spread leave when JD Vance is around because they know what's about to happen. Taking the politics aside, I obviously I lean more left. I'm Canadian. Fuck, I have universal health care and I love it. Taking that aside,
highly recommend.
I want to get into politics very briefly without getting into either side of the argument.
Sure. Just
to point out, Donald Trump has been running for president on and off since 2015 and still, to this day, has not figured out how to vet a vice president. It is just not something he's very good at.
It's a skill issue.
Yeah. JD Vance might be the worst. It's wonderful because, God, we're going to have so many memes. The memes are already so good.
Guys, the meme game is strong.
They're so good. But, he has no charisma. He has said the dumbest shit on video prior to this. Mm-hmm. And so Democrats don't even need to, run. They just need to, play JD Vance's own words on television. And people are like, yeah, not that guy. Republicans are like... This,
No, it's
just get him to stop talking.
Twitter has been very amusing this week.
Put duct tape over his mouth, please. And nobody, and I have very, very Republican family members who post really delusional shit on Facebook. And
Facebook.
Yeah, that's where they.
I know.
That's where they've stayed. Because I'm not willing to follow them to Truth Social.
Yeah.
And all of them are like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so funny.
It's very entertaining.
It's just so funny to watch someone with such little charisma be guaranteed so much screen time for the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's wild. Yeah.
It's great.
No, yeah. Let him speak. Keep letting him speak. Go. I just want to say, Blue has opened up the questions channel. So a book club, unfortunately, we're skipping next week because we're going to be at Gen Con. It's going to be fun if you're around. Say hi. I don't know. But no book club next week. So the following week will be the full book recap where we will be going through the questions channel for this fucking monstrosity of a book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Will says, I hate to defend Trump Vance, but just in context, he was replying to someone saying his opting to be buried in his own family plot would be racist. That is insane. Making it about Dr. Diet Mountain Dew. Do I want Dr. Pepper? I don't know why I'm my Dr. Pepper on the brain.
It's just on the brain.
It's not a good quote. It's not a good quote.
No.
And also him ending it with the... I love you guys.
Yeah,
was awful. We need to move on. I don't want to talk politics.
It's great. Yeah.
I just, if I make fun of this man for the next few months, I'm so sorry. It's just
really easy.
I just can't believe that an entire half of the country's political party was like, this one. We want this motherfucker. Yeah. Anyway, book was good.
Yeah, book was good. Put your questions in the channel and we'll get to them in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. We are going to be at Gen Con next weekend. I want to be honest about Gen Con. We definitely considered not going after what happened with the Crit Awards. With a bunch of our friends dropped out. But I will be there. I made a commitment to the Darrington Press team and Critical Role that I would be a standby game master for them. Yay. So if you are going to Gen Con and you end up at their Candela Obscura or Darrington Press tables, I might be your game master. Probably not. I'm hoping that all of the full-time game masters that they have are
happy and healthy,
and are able to run games all weekend. I don't want anything to happen to anybody.
Yeah.
I was also offered to be one of those full-time game masters, and they were like, "Do you want to run the same module 5 times?" I don't know. I'll be a standby. And so, I'm going to be a standby game master for Critical Role, and very excited. I love Daggerheart. I love Candela Obscura. Obviously, we've run both of those games on our channels.
Yeah.
And we'll, again, tomorrow, if you want to come hang out and watch a one-shot, you don't have to know anything going in. If you've played Donkey Kong 64 or Donkey Kong Country back in the day, it'll be much more fun for you. Because we're doing Donkey Dong.
Donkey Dong.
We're doing Donkey Dong 64, guys. It's going to be really fun. Daggerheart. We're doing the final beta playtest materials. That's 1.5, which recently came out. So if you want to watch us, Clarus is going to be playing one of the dongs. We also have Paul Hillier, Camera Ninja, Canada's #1 photographer, Brian and Rob from Astral Dusk, and Chris Tung, the GM of Blink's Place Blues, the very popular Lancer actual play. We're going to have 5 people in studio doing a Donkey Dong Daggerheart 1.5 actual play one-shot. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a lot of dongs, some crocodiles. It's going to be...
it's going to be great.
It's going to be a good time. So please come hang out with that. No Astral Dust tomorrow because Robin can't make it.
Yeah.
And we were headed into a moment that I didn't feel like we could do without them.
No. We want to make sure that Robin is there for the next part of Astral Dusk. It seems very important. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So we were like, okay, well, we'll do a little fun, like... one shot / we might break it up into 2 weeks depending on how long it goes because
we'll see.
Because again, next weekend we're going to be at Gen Con, so there will be no live streaming that weekend. So
we'll see you at 1 p.m. tomorrow for Donkey Dong. And for now, we're going to stop talking about other stuff and we're going to get into today's episode of the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. That was only 13 minutes. I'm pretty impressed.
Let's go.
Clarus, how'd you feel about the end of the book?
Great. I'm so excited. We will be going directly into Words of Radiance after this book. Full recap is on... Wait, I gotta pull up the actual numbers. Full recap is gonna be on August 9th. And then August 16th, we're going straight into Words of Radiance because...
Gordon Chen, thank you for 10.
You good?
No, I can't read. 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate that.
Gordon, thank you so much. Y'all can go watch those reactions now. There are a couple extras in there because we were feeling spicy. We might be reacting to the entire Words of Radiance book. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
You are a menace. Yeah. But we are going to be starting week 1 on August 16th. Then August 23rd is Fan Expo weekend, but we're still going to do book club because it's my birthday. And then we will not be doing a book club on the 30th, but we'll be back on the 6th. All right. We're going to put out a full schedule that's written down so you don't have to memorize this, but just so you know, things are kind of a little bit all over the place for the next couple weeks, but I'm super fucking stoked because the end of this book was awesome. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Let's fucking go. It was great.
Okay. What did you like about it?
I loved how much payoff there was because
in a Brandon Sanderson book? Shocked.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. But it's just like, it's so many little things as well as big things that just got me really fucking hyped for the next book. That's really what it was. It wasn't even like specific moments. It was this like general like feeling of I need to keep going. Mm-hmm. Which I think that it accomplished very well. Good job, Brandy Sandy. You crushed it. How did you feel?
I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. The title of this video is Was Nerdy Wrong? I wasn't. I was right. I was correct. All of the plot happened at the end of the book, and it was good. I said last week...
about what?
I said last week, like, there's a chance that we show up next week, and all the plot happened, and, like, a full book's worth of plot happened. Boy. Yeah, I am. I am happy. I enjoy the book. I think that, you know, much like the first book club of Way of Kings, where I said it's well written and I don't have any complaints, it's just sort of paced oddly. I think that holds through the entire novel. I think that it is very well written. It is a very cool world. It's a group of very interesting characters, and it's paced oddly. And I think that I think that I was correct in saying that.
Yeah, I think that most people agree with you.
In hindsight, I was probably harsher on this book than I maybe would have been if I had read it through without stopping to talk about it. Sure. You know, but we say that about every book with book club, and it is sort of the nature of book club to kind of capture these moments of feelings. And I think that that's one of the things that's frustrating about book club for people is like when we come to a book club, we are in a feeling that is like a distillation of a moment in time, right? That will never exist again. Mm-hmm. Our feelings about a book mid-book are not consistent states that we exist in with that book. They are us at that moment, right? And so when we do these final book clubs or the full book recaps, those are more honest, like on that's more how we're going to take the book moving forward into our lives.
Yeah.
And I think that can be a difficult part of this journey for people who have finished the book and who have finished the series, who are looking at us going, well, your feelings are going to change, so stop talking about them because they're transient. But the transience of our feelings in those moments is the only thing that we can't talk about, right?
Right.
And I think I think that creates this interesting experience where we get to the ends of these books, and you know, I feel like it doesn't discredit my feelings or my thoughts on the book as I was reading it, but I do think that, you know, having come to the end of the book, it drastically changes those previous feelings and thoughts and change how I move forward with the book, right? Yeah,
for sure. I think that that's one thing that is very unique to book club. Sorry, not just our book club, other book clubs, because some people, you know, also analyze sections at a time.
Yeah.
But I think that it is particularly prevalent in our book club because, you know, we talk for 3 hours and we really like to get into it, so to speak. And I think that is part of the experience, and it may not be people's favorite part of the experience, which is valid. Like not having the full picture is never going to be like my favorite part of the experience, but I do love how wonderfully unique it is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because like you said, you'll never be there again.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to forget. Like you just, I mean, I don't know, unless you have that talent, in which case that must be really useful. I wouldn't lie awake regretting all my mistakes. You could just choose to forget things. But I think that that's a really cool point.
Yeah, I also think one of the things that I'll be honest about is that I don't think this is a very good book. Right? Like, I don't think that on its own, this is a very strong novel. I think that it is probably going to be a very good piece of a larger narrative. But as a standalone, I would not say that this is an amazing standalone novel within a series. It is very clearly a piece of a series that is very well written.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And that's not to say that the writing is bad, but what I mean is that like I don't think when I look back on this series that I'll be like, God, you know what? I just want to sit down and just read Way of Kings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that is the vibe that I get from this. And I think that that is a choice, right? Like that is an authorial choice.
Sure.
That is at times difficult in the context of us talking about the book for book club, in the way that I am trying to analyze a book as a book.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways I approach the book wrong because it isn't really a book. It doesn't really, like, it's not structured like a book. It doesn't do things like a book. It is paced to set up a larger narrative. And it does that, right? Yeah. When you get to the end of the book, you're like, yeah, I get it. I get where we've been. I want to get where we're going. But in its own little place, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. I think that, like, this is much less so than a lot of first books I think that we've read or that I've read before book club. This is less of a standalone than almost anything I've ever read, especially for the length. I don't think I've ever read a book that was this long that did not feel like it stood on its own very well.
Okay. Linus, thank you for that super chat. I love hearing the transient thought as you're reading it. It's the closest I can come to reading it again for the first time. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's why a lot of people enjoy book club, honestly. Arzu, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Go enjoy those reactions. Enjoy. Arzu as well, thank you for that super chat. You're right. When the book ends, it feels like the story just begins. Yeah, I get that.
Well, and we'll get to the epilogue. It sort of feels like the whole book was just wasting time until the story could start. I do want to talk about that epilogue and how it just kind of is like, don't worry, none of this mattered. We're going to move forward with the actual plot now.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Really? Because the end of the book is, oh, the bad guys are here now. We've just been spinning our wheels waiting for the bad guys to show up.
What?
The end of the book
where bad guys?
Hoyd literally is like, well, okay, the shit our characters actually have to do begins now. Like, everything has just been getting them in place.
A new character is introduced, and Hoyd is like, hopefully you got here in time to be a part of the plot. I don't know where you're getting
dead, right? No. Talonal definitely shows up, falls down dead.
No.
Yeah, the sword doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So he's dead.
No.
Yeah.
Hoyd is literally like, hopefully you showed up in time.
No, he says, I think you're too late.
You might, he's like, you might be, but he's not.
Oh, I think
he's not dead.
Let's talk about that at the end of the show since it's the.
Sure. Judah, thank you for the super chat as well. Imagine waiting 4 years for Words of Radiance.
It would have been tough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm really grateful that we aren't, because I think that I don't think that I would. I think I would struggle to continue with this series.
Oh God,
You think you would? I would have to read the book again.
Oh, I would.
There's no way I would remember.
I read Eragon 30 fucking times. I have no problem.
Yeah, when we were
rereading.
Kids. But like the amount of time we have now, the idea that 4 years from now I'm gonna have time to read this book again is it's different when you're an adult.
I mean, sure, but we are like kind of uniquely busy. We work 15 hours a day.
That's true. Other people do. Other people have like free time.
Other people have free time. Blue, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. Go freaking watch those reactions, but not right now because you're here, so stay here and don't leave. You're not allowed to go anywhere. I don't know.
People are saying that he's not dead. I'm very confused because I thought that the sword boops away unless you want it to stay, which would mean you have to be conscious or...
It's one of the fancy swords, right? He's one of the 10 fancy boys with the fancy swords. So I think
it's not actually a shard blade.
Well, I think it is what shard blades are based off of. It's like the OG shard blade.
Yeah. Okay.
Is my guess. That's that. Yeah, but I don't think that he's. I don't think he's dead.
Interesting.
But it definitely doesn't explicitly say. So if you are confirming or denying in chat, you are technically spoiling. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
True.
I see you.
All right, let's get into the chapters at the beginning here.
I just want to say I like not to bring it back to what you're saying, but to kind of have my own.
Exactly what you're gonna do, but I appreciate you bringing your opinions in.
Wait, what?
You said not to bring it back to what you're saying. I'm like, you're going to.
I mean, not to like argue about it.
You're allowed to argue.
No.
I encourage arguing. It's my favorite thing about the show.
No, I just mean I think that you said your piece, but I definitely feel differently about the book.
Go for it.
I very much enjoyed it all the way through. I would absolutely pick this back up. And here's the fun thing for me is, no, I don't know how much time I would have to like reread this book, but now that I have read it once and I know what all of those words look like, I can audiobook it, which is great. Yeah. And this is an audiobook where like I think the world is so immersive that I could just pop in no problem and listen to. I've had a fantastic time with this book. Yeah. Despite like lack of plot, like I have very much been pulled in by how real the world feels, and characters that I love, and so I want to. I just want to commend. Brandon Sanderson for that. I know that that's not everybody's focus when they're reading a book, but for me personally, it works really well. I agree that this is better as a piece of a larger whole, but I would have been fucking waited with bated breath for the next one to come out, honestly. Would have reread this several times, I think. Yeah.
I'm glad that we feel differently because it makes the show more interesting. Yeah. For the content.
Remember, people used to be like, neither of them have their own separate opinions. They just think the same things about everything. And I was like, someone doesn't watch book club.
I feel like that's true about a lot of things that we watch, though.
Yes, but
I
not
think you
book
and I
club.
are pretty in sync on, like, if there, I think there are very few properties that I've loved that you've hated, or vice versa. There are some. Usually, it's bad movies that I enjoy because they are bad that you don't want that you don't have that kind of enjoyment with. And honestly, like the Star Wars sequels. Yeah. But like, you know, like but even within Star Wars, like we both felt kind of similarly about Ahsoka.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Acolyte. Like it's not like we were arguing about those. Yeah. I liked Obi-Wan more than you did, but
for sure. Yeah.
Greibach, thank you for that super chat. The wiki is fantastic. To review plots before a new book. They have chapter by chapter summaries about one paragraph each. That's good to know.
Beautiful. We love that. Good. We love a summary.
To know.
That's what I did before we watched Deadpool. I reread the summary for the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, our non-spoiler review was up yesterday. And we're going to do a live spoiler chat on Sunday for Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you've seen the movie and you want to come hang out and chat with us, that'll be Sunday at some point. We don't have a time yet. Don't worry about it. We'll let you know. So, Chapter 62, 3 Glyphs. Kaladin and the boys are on a bridge run. Again. It's happening again and again and again. But this time, Lopin, he snuck off to that little bridge and he grabbed a little bag that Kaladin previously used magic to climb up a wall to affix to the bottom of that bridge. And he runs over and he's like, "Oi, Goncho, I've got your armor here." And Kaladin suits up, looking just absolutely disgusting, smelling even worse.
Probably.
As he wears the flesh of his master's enemies. And he runs ahead of his bridge and does a little dance to try and distract the French enemy. In all of our speculating on what the plan was with the carapace that he cut off the body, using it to make himself a human target was not something that I thought was going to happen.
Not like that. No, that was something. Blue, thank you for that super chat. No touching the wiki. All right. Fine.
Okay, we won't touch it. We'll just read it.
We'll only look, no touching, I promise.
Yeah, so Kaladin wears his enemy's flesh into battle like Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Isn't it?
Buffalo Bills are the sports team.
Isn't that the serial killer? Would you fuck
Something
me?
Bill.
I'd fuck
but
me.
But his name isn't Buffalo. Who names their kid Buffalo?
Isn't his name Buffalo Bill in
Is it?
Silence of the Lambs?
Buffalo needs to change their fucking team's name. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe I'm Googling Silence of the Lambs. I know I'm right. Yeah, Buffalo Bill. Why do I even let you get me off of this when I know you don't know? I know for a fact that you do not know. And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe you're right.
I've seen the movie. I should know.
Yes, Buffalo Bill.
Great. Buffalo's a weird fucking name. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's great. And honestly, if you've ever seen the musical, his song is fantastic. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. I'd fuck me oh so fucking hard.
Demonetized.
I don't know that the team behind Silence the Musical has the money to
No,
copywriting
just
shit.
too many swears in a short span of time.
Oh, whatever. This Smut Corner gets us demonetized anyway.
That's true. Our book club is almost always demonetized.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So Buffalo Bill rides into battle once more.
Yeah.
And it works kind of miraculously.
Yeah, all of the Parshendi get really fucking pissed.
Yeah, they do.
And they start firing at him because they're like, "Oh, you disrespected our dead corpses."
Yeah. Do you think that this is a good strategy or not?
I think if you have superpowers, it is.
Yeah.
Because if he had been a normal person, he would have died.
It's confusing me that it works for the other boys when they start doing it, but
that is the part that's weird to me. I think it's because, honestly, I think it's because Kaladin did it first, and they know that, like, they recognize him every time he comes out.
But he's wearing a helmet.
I don't know. I don't know how they recognize him, but they always target him first. Like, that's, like, explicitly said that they recognize him somehow.
Yeah. There must be a way. Maybe it's like the Juggernaut helmet where you can see his face and they just have really good eyes.
Sure, yeah. So Kaladin becomes a human
pincushion.
Pincushion. That's the word I was looking for. And it works. The Parshendi get really fucking pissed. And Bridgeford does good. They do good work.
Yeah.
This was wild.
It definitely gives like it's another thing like the side carry where like I very much understand why it works once. I'm curious to learn about the Parshendi in like why it continues to work.
Because they get mad.
Yeah, but they've adapted in the past, so I'm really curious as we get to know their honor system and you know like the Parshendi. I'm not sure if we're supposed to believe that they're intelligent creatures or not, or if they're like a hive mind. It's interesting that given that we've been fighting them for a whole book, I don't really get their thinking on things, and I'm excited to learn about it. This is not. I know people are gonna be like, oh, he doesn't. I'm just saying, I'm excited to learn about them, because they do this a number of times, and despite the fact that the Parshendi it does not work at all. Trying to attack him. They keep doing it as if it's going to start working at some point, and it doesn't. It doesn't change. And so that says more about the Parshendi, in my opinion, than it does about Kaladin's ability.
Yes.
They are a very interesting thing that I want to learn about, and also I very much do not want them to be the villains of this series because they're kind of terrible villains.
I don't think that they are the Voidbringers.
They're not very interesting as villains because they're so honorable, right? Like getting away from them in a fight is so easy. And so it just the stakes of fighting the Parshendi are very low because as long as you can get back across the plateau, they will leave you alone, right? Once you are in retreat, the fight is over and you can live to fight another day, which is fun for the first book and is fun to have them as a thing that they fight at the beginning of the series, but makes them sort of a weak villain long term. And I'm excited for like Odium and whoever the actual villains are. It's why I basically what I'm saying is I don't want Yasna to be correct.
Well, that's what, and I love the reveal and the idea that they believe that the Parshendi are the Voidbringers because that like sense of horror of like seeing them all around you, just like basically like waiting, just like sleeper agents. But yeah, I don't see how they could be the Voidbringers because they literally chased humanity supposedly out of heaven. But
now won't chase humanity anymore.
But now, like, if you retreat, they retreat. They don't like all swarm Kaladin. Like they have this like code of honor in a way that doesn't make sense.
What if they need the gem hearts because that is how they awaken more Parshendi? Like,
they're
what
born
if,
from gem hearts?
No, not born from. But so whatever happened 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, that enslaved the Parshendi. The Parshendi shamans, or their version of surge binders, can break whatever mental chains are on Parshmen, but they need the magic of gem hearts. So the more the Parshendi win on the shattered plains, the more Parshmen they are able to like wake up and bring to their cause. But that's why they're fighting for the gem hearts, is to like rally their people back to them. It isn't about killing humanity at all, which is why they don't chase humanity. It's not about winning the war. They only care about getting gem hearts so that they can get their people.
Then why do they want this war on the Shattered Plains?
I don't know that they do, right?
Well, they took credit for the assassination.
They didn't deny it, but they also don't talk very much.
Sure.
Like, Dalinar, like, that might all come down to their broken understanding of the Alethi language. Because the Alethi have never really attempted to learn the Parshendi language. Which is probably Dawn Chant, right? Maybe
Parshendi and Parshmen are actually a lot more different than we realize. And the Parshmen are Voidbringers. And the Parshendi, in a way that it like, kind of riffing off of your hypothesis, what if the Gem Hearts are a way to actually like make like the Parshmen not evil sleeper agents again, like give them agency and break them out of this like pure evil being type thing, because like the way that the Voidbringers are spoken about is that they're just fucking evil monsters, right? We don't know much about them, granted, but I would imagine that like they are pure evil if they're just from odium and slaughtering, and that they like literally chased the humanity out of heaven. I don't know. And so maybe the gem hearts actually are to break away that like evil control of them. I don't know. I don't know. We don't obviously have enough information, but
no, not at all.
But I can't imagine that the Parshendi, at least, are the Voidbringers. Maybe the Parshmen. I don't know.
The only way I can see them being the Voidbringers is if the Voidbringers aren't the worst part of Odium's army. If the Voidbringers are like the largest chunk of Odium's army, but not the worst of it. Because the Parshendi, like, and this
there are the like rock monster thingies.
But realistically, right?
Thundercasts.
Like, the Parshendi, when we went back to really early Wheel of Time, and this isn't really a spoiler for the Wheel of Time, if you haven't read it, but we're introduced to Trollocs really early on, and the idea of a Trolloc in the first book of the Wheel of Time is a lethal killing monster that a regular person cannot fight on their own, right?
Yeah.
Some of the best warriors at the beginning of that series can, but a normal person cannot fight a Trolloc at the beginning. And I talked about how the power creep of that series led to a Trolloc being such an insignificant...
I think it was because, like, your everyday, like, farmer can't fight a Trolloc. But obviously, like, the, lands people have been fighting Trollocs as normal humans for...
Sure, yeah. 100%. My point here is that this book starts at... our main characters... Because we don't follow a farm boy who's like learning about the wider world and growing in his power, we start with the Blackthorn of the army and Kaladin Stormblast. A regular Parshendi, a Parshendi Shardbearer is not a massive threat to our characters unless they're already wounded, right? Well, like Dalinar is able to hold his own against a Shardbearer despite the fact that he is basically walking around in a broken can of tins. Like this series does not start at Parshendi individually are big dangerous things, and so because of that, let me finish my point. I think it'll make sense. Because of that, there has to be something else, right?
Well,
there just has to be, because unless there are 100 Parshendi Shardbearers, there isn't really like a physical threat to our main characters.
No, but okay. So remember in one of the flashbacks, the like weird kind of like smoke monster, which was called something essence.
Yeah, Void Essence.
Was it? Yeah.
Midnight Essence? Something like that.
Yeah, okay. There was like an essence thing.
Yeah.
And then Dalinar was like, is that a Voidbringer? And the Knights Radiant was like, oh no, that's not nearly as bad. So it...
But the Parshendi could still be the Voidbringers, in that they could be the people that chased the humanity out of heaven. Right? And because they are connected to the song, they might be able to control those essence things. Or they might be able to, like, influence chasm fiends.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Like, just because they're not the physical threat does not mean that they're not the scariest thing.
Mm-hmm.
If the reason they were called the Voidbringers is because when the armies of Parshendi 3,000 years ago were so vast that when they marched on a town, it felt like the void was being brought to your town, right? Because you would stand on the walls and look out on an army of black and red Parshendi, and it would like dot out it would black out the ground, right? So they might be the Voidbringers, but the Voidbringers can't be the worst thing in the series because our characters. We just have already seen...
And I don't think that the Parshendi can be the Voidbringers because they have this honorable code. Like...
Maybe, yeah. That's actually a fair point.
Like, they really can't be, like, the agents of evil, of odium.
Well, they can be.
It would be weird if they were supposed to be, like, the epitome of evil, and they're like, oh, yeah, you can tend to your wounded. Like,
I mean, evil doesn't mean... that you don't. Well, I guess evil kind of means you don't have a code. But you can be like an evil paladin. You can be a paladin to an evil god and still have a code, have an oath.
But if their goal is to kill humans, which is what it seems like.
No, their goal is to get gem hearts. I don't think their goal is to kill humans. Well, it doesn't seem like that is their
Odium,
focus.
I am assuming that Odium's goal is to destroy the world because we saw the vision where everything gets destroyed, right?
Yes.
And so, what would be the point of letting people retreat?
Because I don't think Odium cares how many people die in this war. I think that the goal of the bad guys is to get humanity to stall out on the Shattered Plains and not pay attention to all of the other shit going on so that the pieces can be moved into place for the Everstorm to come. Because once the Everstorm has started, who lived and who died on the Shattered Plains doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, but that Parshendi Shardbearer literally, like, saluted Dalinar, like, good game kind of vibes. Not like, I'm gonna fuck you up and murder your entire world. It just feels weird.
I feel like you can have respect for the person that you plan to kill in the future.
It's just weird, because if the Parshendi are sentient, free-thinking beings,
yes,
then why are they working for Odium?
I don't know that they are. I don't know that they are free-thinking.
It feels wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm calling it right now. It's my hard prediction that the Parshendi are not the Voidbringers. I'm locking it in.
I think you are more likely to be right than wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also see how they are how it could make sense for them to be the Voidbringers. I think that both are possible, but I think that I do lean more towards what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like reason a way for it to be true.
Yeah.
And like why Yasna thinks it's true, right? Because she is supposed to be intelligent, and so I'm curious like what Arzu, thank you for that super chat. People insist I give you the dictionary definition of odium, which is general or widespread hatred or disgust incurred by someone as a result of their actions. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that...
Yeah, so odium is the god of hate, the shard.
But specifically incurred by the result of people's actions.
Wait, so does that mean if everybody decides to like be good again, that odium will not hate them anymore?
I don't know. I feel
Are they
like
gonna beat him by the power of love?
The definitions of the shard's words is only somewhat important to their function, right? Like it's not the shards. The words that define the shards do not define everything about them, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because perseverance is not the creation of life. Preservation is not the creation of life, right?
No, but it didn't create. Like, it's not... Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you were to look up the, like, dictionary definitions of preservation and ruin, the idea that those two things together would create life doesn't... that isn't, like, the function of the words, right?
Yeah.
The shards have more power outside of the dictionary definition of what the word that has been ascribed to them is all I'm saying.
Sure, yeah, I think obviously you have to take creative liberties with it, but preservation couldn't create anything, so like it kind of holds true. Like it holds pretty well to the definition.
Okay, but preservation gave them the power to swallow metal and fly. So, like, the idea that all I'm saying is, the idea that the shards are strictly stuck to whatever the word ascribed to them is not the case, because all of the magic in Mistborn is not preservation. Like, you could maybe argue that pewter arming is preservation, right? You could maybe argue... But, like, coin shotting isn't preservation. That doesn't... You can't say that the shards are so strictly defined by a dictionary definition of the word that is put on them. Because they do other things.
Sure.
It is more complicated. Like, you can say all you want that Ruin wanted to ruin things. And Ruin's desire was to ruin things. Ruin also had to create a bunch of shit in order to ruin things.
I just think that the definition of odium only reinforces my prediction, because if odium is basically the god of hatred, like hatred doesn't allow for enemies to escape. Like,
but that's why I'm saying that it's not that narrow, right? Hatred can also have hatred can also lead people to concoct plans that have a very long fuse.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And so, like, the idea that the Parshendi have to be hateful at all moments in order for odium to be hateful, I think is saying that, like, every single action that odium does has to be odious. And I don't think that that is true. I think that odium's general vibe is odium, right? But within that, they are capable of a plethora of actions that do not feel in the moment to be odious, but point to the long-term goal of odium. Okay. And I think that I think that it's important that these... One of the things that worries me about the big bad of this world is that I hope that they find a good... Brandon Sanderson finds a good way to personify this villain as something that they can fight. Because they, like, when we got to Ruin in Mistborn, there were a lot of really great villains that we cared about. And, like, anti-hero, complicated characters like Marsh that filled out the interesting side of Ruin's arsenal. Zane to a lesser degree, but he was also, like, something for our characters to physically interact with. Yeah. And actually do something about that was placed in front of them. This book doesn't give us any of that. Right? There is no other than Parshendi Shardbearer, whose personality is I don't know. Well, this entire book does not set up a single character who is working for odium.
Well, here's the thing.
That I have any interest in.
Actually, the thing that Arzu sent to us at the end said that one of the four would destroy them.
Oh, sure. There is a vague fucking thing that isn't in the book, but that is canon to the book that we were sent. Which one was it? Was it the picture or the...
It was the picture?
Oh, no, it wasn't the Ketek one. Where is it in this? There were four whom we watch. The first is the surgeon, forced to put aside healing to become a soldier in the most brutal war of our time. The second is the assassin, a murderer who weeps as he kills. The third is a liar, a young woman who wears a scholar's mantle over the heart of a thief. The last is the high prince, a warlord whose eyes have opened to the past as his thirst for battle wanes. I don't know why this isn't just in the book, but apparently we're supposed to read it.
No, it's at, like, the very end.
Oh, it wasn't in my copy. The other thing, the Ketek part, was in my copy, but this wasn't.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The world can change. Surge binding and shard wielding can return. The magics of ancient days can become ours again. These four people are key. One of them may redeem us, and one of them will destroy us.
Yeah.
Cool.
One of them is the bad guy.
I love when a book does so little to set up the plot that they have to put the prophecy in a thing that isn't in the book.
It is in the book.
It's not in the book. It is not in... I don't know where it is in the book then, because it's not in the audiobook. Unless it's, like, after the credits. Which maybe I should have listened through the credits. But that was not in the book for me.
I don't have my Kindle. It's the back of the book blurb.
Okay, if it has to be on the physical back of the book, but it is the prophecy that... it just reeks of prophecy to me in a way that I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't
know, that's fun, because it's not like this is gonna happen. It's like but then possibilities.
If it is something that I need to know as the reader, put it in the book. I get it. J.J. Abrams wrote that really cool novel S.
The back of the book is very important. Especially if you're like choosing a book.
I deliberately do not read the backs of books because most of them spoil the novel. What? A lot of them literally spoil plot points. What? Am I crazy? Do you guys read every single blurb of every book you've ever read?
Because yes!
There is a lot of people in chat saying they have never read this part.
All right. That's how I pick a book, because I read the back.
Oh, I don't read backs of books because the number of books that I've read the back and been like, oh, I know what happens. Why? I don't need to read the book now. Watch as they fall in love over the course of... And I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't need the back of the book. I know it's a romance book. I know they fall in love. I don't need you to tell me where it happens. I want to know. I want to read the book to find out.
It doesn't say page 76.
No, I just find a lot of blurbs are too spoilery, so I don't read blurbs.
All right.
Unless I'm like, no, I just don't read blurbs. I would rather read like the first 2 pages. I'll open the book and read like the first 2 pages, and that's generally how I pick books.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild to me. Anyways.
Stormblessed, I don't have to choose my books. You guys tell me what to read now. So, yeah, people agree with me.
All right.
Brother Araman, does Nerdy judge a book by its cover? Only positively. I don't think a bad cover ruins a book, but a good cover will make me read a book.
I've definitely picked up books because of the cover, yeah.
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 But I've never been like... I've never looked at a bad cover. You know what? Actually, that's not true. There was a book that came out last year called Gothicana that used AI for its cover. And so despite the fact that it was recommended to me, I saw the AI cover and I decided not to read it because of that. Yeah. But other than AI covers, I only care if the cover is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah. I would never not read a book because they had a bad cover.
Yeah. Unless it's AI.
But I'm not going to pick it up unless I get a recommendation. So...
That's fair. And especially now that I have less time. That's fair. But like I used to, I used to spend hours in chapters just like reading the backs of books.
Oh, Stormblast brings up reviews. I'm much more likely to pull out my phone and look up reviews. Like I'm much more likely to look at the Goodreads page for a book in a Barnes and Noble than I am to pick up the book and read the back of it. Because I often find that Goodreads is far less spoilery than the backs of books.
That's fair.
Especially nowadays, I feel like book publishing is so hard. And I empathize so hard with book publishers. It is so hard to sell physical books anymore. I get it, right? But because of that, I feel like modern books push the big plot points on the back to like try and entice you to read it in a way that... In a way that is reminiscent to me, honestly, of like 1970s movie trailers. Where it would literally be like, this is the story of Star Wars. A young farm boy named Luke Skywalker finds a mentor in Obi-Wan Kenobi, an ancient knight from an order that was maybe his father's. They find a man named Han Solo in a cantina in Mos Eisley, a den of scum and villainy, before taking off in the Millennium Falcon to find Princess Leia on the Death Star. Join us this summer for Star Wars. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's the first half of the movie you just described in a trailer.
No, that's so fair.
And that's how we used to make movie trailers. Mm-hmm. That just almost every trailer was just basically the plot of the film. Mm-hmm. And that's what blurbs feel like. It feels like I can skip the first like 16 chapters of any book that I read the blurb of. So yeah, anyway, long way to say, who do you think is going to betray them?
I think it's...
it's not betray them. One of them will destroy us.
I'm worried it's Dalinar.
Oh, I definitely think it's possible that it's Dalinar.
Yeah. The one thing about that, though, is weird. Like, Shallan having the heart of a thief, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
What do you mean? She literally steals in this book.
Yeah, and she feels horrible about it. Like, she doesn't revel in the stealing. She doesn't feel good about it. It takes her, like, she decides not to steal it, and then Yasna does something that she finds abhorrent, and she's kind of, like, has this weird shift. But, like, calling Shalyn someone with the heart of a thief is such a weird description of her. I think it's
I disagree.
Off.
The plan to steal the Soulcaster before the book starts was hers.
Sure.
So
because it's like the only viable way that they see forward, not like she's like, oh my god, guys, what if I stole her like Soulcaster? Like she doesn't seem hyped about it.
She doesn't seem piped about it?
Hyped about it.
Got an extra P in there. I disagree. I think that you can have the heart of a thief and not love being a thief. But she concocts a very good thievery plan, and it works.
What's the heart of a thief?
That her solution to the problem is that. Do you want the blurb to say, Shalyn, after murdering her fucking father, decides to steal from a rich woman she's never met before?
No, just think. Oh, by the way,
Shalyn sucks.
Nah.
Shalyn gets...
If my father was physically abusive and a terrible human being, I think I'd be justified in killing him.
He's not physically abusive with her.
No, but her brothers.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
he is an awful human.
I'm not saying that he isn't.
Shalyn is not a bad person. I will defend her.
I mean, she's not great. Like,
she's a child.
Shalyn, okay, but
I was not the best person at 17.
You didn't murder anybody.
No, but, like, I think if I, like, witnessed abuse and broke after, like, a decade, you know, I think that'd be justified. I don't think that would make me a worse person.
You know what? I agree with that. That's fair.
Got him.
I think that if I murdered somebody and it was justified, and then my solution to the next problem is that I'm going to go rob somebody, I don't think that makes her a good person. I also think that the Fabrial not working is the problem. If I just feel like if she had gotten the Fabrial and been able to soulcast with it, I feel like the book would have gone very differently. But it is that she gets the Fabrial and that she can't soulcast anything with it that makes her go like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Because the problem is she does still have to soulcast back home in order to save her family.
Yeah.
And so the part of her reticence after that moment was all of this pointless? Can I actually make anything better with this?
No, she literally makes herself sick with guilt.
Yeah, but part of that guilt comes from the fact that she did it and it might not have been worth anything because the Fabrial doesn't work.
I just don't see Shalyn, like, to me, the heart of a thief is someone who, like, revels in the excitement of planning and stealing and taking without regret.
Yeah.
It just is. I don't see it. If you see it, that's fine. I just think it's a weird description of her.
AMV fan, thank you for joining the nards.
Thank you.
I didn't like Shalyn in the first book, but now she's my second favorite character. I won't be surprised if that happens for me. I love Nico Robin now very quickly after being like, I don't understand why Nico Robin is joining this team. You know what I mean? Like there is I'm happy to have my opinion changed on her. I just think that like at this point, the end of this book rewards her, despite the fact that I don't think that she has actually done anything to be deserving of a reward. And I think that she will do wonderful things in the future. I do believe that. But in this moment, where we're at the end of this book, the book just kind of works out for her because she's a very special magic girl, not because of anything that she does or anything that she is. It is just... It is...
What?
She gets rewarded by the plot of this novel. She gets a second chance, not because of her actions or her character, but because she is magical. She literally gets, like, magic girl privilege at the end of this book. And that's fine, because I think in the future there's going to be a purpose and it's going to be great, and it's all going to work out to be a good story. But in this moment, the only reason she gets out of this book with... The only reason her plot continues alongside Yasna's at the end of this book is because she's a very special magic girl.
No, it's not. It's because she tells Yasna. It's because she's honest. She could have been shipped off the next morning. She could have never said anything. She could have gone back home, tried to figure out all her problems. But she didn't. She made the choice to tell Yasna what happened to her.
Yes.
And also figure out that Yasna is a caster without the soul caster. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but also none of that would have happened without Shallon's choice.
Sure, she does choose to be honest, which is great. She does. Like, that is the she chooses to finally be honest is good.
Scafandi, thank you for the super chat. To be fair, she picked a heretic to steal from.
As an atheist, that isn't a convincing argument.
Yeah, Yasna, just the worst because she doesn't believe in the Almighty. What a goof. What a goof. Honestly, here's the thing, though. Yasna is right. The Almighty's dead. Yasna is correct.
What?
Yasna's right. The Almighty's dead. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a Brandon Sanderson book before.
Anyways,
it is wild to watch him recycle his own material. Like, it really is. Reading these books so close together, it is wild to be like, I feel like Brandon Sanderson in a way plays Mad Libs with his own ideas. Because they're used differently. I'm not saying that it is an exact copy, right? But there are like a few concepts within the Cosmere that he's like, I'm going to take my dead god from this. The shards can die. So in this one, the shard dies this way. And in this one, the shard dies this way. And in this one, the shard dies this way. And then he likes to have his like very special entitled white girl who is present and is not everybody's favorite character, but she's like there the whole time. And he just sprinkles her in throughout the novel. And then there's his like love of how he sets up magic systems, and he kind of throws that in kind of almost in the same way.
Almost like this all exists in the same universe.
Yeah. But it does, and here's the thing. I think that if we spread it out, if I was like reading a Brandon Sanderson book every year when they came out, I would be like, oh, it feels good to be back in the Cosmere. You know what I mean? That it would have that vibe. Reading them back to back to back to back to back, I'm like, wow, he really likes to start his book off with a woman showing up on a boat to a city to meet a person she's never met before, to whom she's going to tie her entire financial future to.
Siri didn't show up on a boat.
Siri?
Yeah.
Sure, Siri did not travel by boat. She traveled by carriage. I'm not saying that it's bad or that he's like only written one book. They're very different.
Apparently Shallon is Asian with red hair.
Wait, I thought Shallon was a ginger.
She is a ginger, but apparently she is.
I thought the Alethi were the Asians.
Yeah, I thought she was Yakoved. I don't know.
Oh no, wait, the Shin are white people. We need to stop using real-world races. My point is that he likes to have his very entitled princess character.
You were like, it's all these white girls.
It's because red hair is a very white trait on Earth, okay?
Yeah. And color-changing hair is just super white. I'm just teasing.
I mean, in those books, they are the colonizers, so I don't fucking know.
Valid. You know what? That's fair.
My point is only that when you read these books so close together, it is sort of funny the way it feels like some things just keep coming back into the books.
Sure, yeah. No,
that's all I'm saying. It's not bad. It's what makes the Cosmere, I guess. It's just it just is very noticeable. When he's like, God is dead, I'm like, oh my God, I just read this. Yeah. Like, we just did this story.
Well, Preservation died in the books, not
No, Preservation was long dead.
No.
Yeah, the pool was just what was left.
No, Preservation literally died with Elend. Literally, Elend saw Preservation.
No, you're right.
How dare the disrespect.
No, you're right.
That moment was beautiful.
I'm messing that up. So basically, and then the body slumps to the ground. It's almost like the epilogue of this book. The
epilogue.
Where the body just slumps to the ground. I'm just saying.
That's not God.
All I am saying, it's a herald of the Almighty. It's who knows
just
what's
a big,
what.
strong boy.
But the body that falls to the ground also isn't God in Mistborn.
Oh yeah,
it is a body that it is the person before Sazed that the shard had been in. Right? It's the body that had been in Preservation before. So, it is kind of similar. It is a herald of... Anyway, my point is that he plays Mad Libs a little bit with his own ideas. And it's fun. That's all I wanted to say.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Jesus Christ. There's so much to talk about in this book, and we're not doing it in order.
Chapter 62.
The first chapter.
Dalinar saves Bridge 4. That's the only important thing that we didn't get to in there. Is that Dalinar saves Bridge 4.
It's a bad idea. What? And it is immediately bad.
What is?
This strategy, right?
What strategy?
I'm going to bait the Parshendi strategy. Because, once more, Kaladin does not consider the cause and effect of his actions.
No, he just doesn't know what they're going to be. I'm sure he considered it.
I don't think that Kaladin ever actually considers that people might react to what he does.
He's an impulse guy.
He's an impulse guy, and he is shocked. After the plan does work, all of the bridges make it. Not a single bridge gets stopped. And then he and his boys are resting. They're chilling as this battle is waged. And the Parshendi do the most sensible thing, which is to start attacking the people that they're pissed at again. And Kaladin's like, oh my god, I did it again. Holy shit, I'm so stupid. We should have pulled back. I should have maybe considered. And then Dalinar saves his ass. So the Deus Ex Machina of all Deus Ex Machina shows up, and we survive because of it.
God. He's a person on the battlefield who's looking for Parshendi to take down. Why wouldn't you engage the distracted Parshendi? Even if it wasn't about Kaladin, they are easy fucking targets. He's got a giant-ass sword and they have bows.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but this moment is Kaladin fucks up again and he gets saved by a magic man in magic armor again.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Almighty.
That is what happens.
Almighty is God and it wasn't the Almighty.
Okay, but it's shard plate, which means that it literally is God. It's a piece of God, shows up and saves the day. It's not God's intention, but it is still fucking a piece of him. It's like Jesus shows up. Jesus is just a piece of God.
I don't actually know if the shard plate is that, but okay.
It is armor that regrows when you feed light into it.
Yeah.
If it's not God, what the fuck is it?
It's magic.
Which in this world is just God. In the Cosmere, all magic is just...
No, they make fabrials.
Yes, but that is just using the stormlight, which is God.
Is it though?
Yes, because when Vin flies, she's literally using God's magic. Like, all Cosmere magic is God. Is a god. Is a piece of a god, right? Like, which is why fucking Ruin was able to use hemalurgy to influence the Kender. All of the magic and all of this shit is God. Not Kender, the fucking... Fuck.
The Khandra.
The Khandra. I was so close. I'm just dyslexic. Shut up.
Guys, we got Dragonlance on the brain. It's fine.
Guys, it literally cannot be science. All magic in the Cosmere is God shit. There is no shit here that isn't God. Even if it's science working to use God, it is still God. That's the setup of the entire Cosmere.
It might be science.
There's no science.
No, you just said
of the magic
even
system.
if it's science.
Yes, but it is science to try and funnel God into a certain funnel, right?
It's
they have found
math.
funnels to funnel God's magical energy into heat fabrials and light fabrials and all of this stuff, but it's still just God magic. At the end of the day, all of the Cosmere magic systems comes down to they found a way to funnel God's magic into something.
Scuff Andy, thank you for the super chat. You're right, it's math.
It's all math.
It is math. Magic is math. Actually.
Gryback actually brings up a great point. If God exists, then everything is God. That is actually just facts, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. But which God?
But like there and maybe in the future we will find out that there is magic within the Cosmere that is not directly related to a shard. But up until this point,
the shard's
10
magic.
books in, all of the magics are directly related to a shard. Every single one that we've ever encountered, right? And so the books are going to have to tell me that there is something that is not that for me to believe that there is something that is not that. I'm not just going to assume there's something that's not that because we have so many examples that is how it works.
Yeah.
At this point, it is an overwhelming amount of evidence that all magic in the Cosmere is shard shit. That has just been pooped all over these individual planets.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't think that that's unfair to say, right? You just said it's fair, so I don't know why I said that, but It's all shard shit.
It's because chat is trolling.
We're just flinging shard shit into the ether.
No, we're singing shard.
No, that's Dungeons and Dragons. That is actually god magic. She is a cleric. Let's get into, Dalinar raises his blade to salute at Bridge 4 because he saves their lives. Because Kaladin does something really cool and doesn't consider that the Parshendi aren't stupid. Mm-hmm. Chapter 63, Fear. Kaladin is like, hey, Leighton, you did such a good job with this. How long would it take you to make armor for all of us? They will definitely let us do that, even though we're not allowed shields. And then they do.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So...
They don't know how to handle Bridge 4.
Yeah. Oh, we also skipped over Matal and Hashal, or Matal, because Hashal's not there because she's a woman. Matal rides over and is like, what the fuck? And he's like, this was your plan, Goncho. And then Sadius is like, good plan, Matal. We're going to do this every time because that worked. Proud of you.
I mean, yeah.
And Matal's like, fuck you.
Johnny Feldman, thank you for that super chat. We're not going into it.
Wait, what are we not going into?
I'm assuming the actually was for the science, math, magic debate.
You guys complain that we don't get to shit, and then you argue with me about shit that is objectively true. You forgot that dude also got promoted by Sadius? But he got promoted to still run the bridges? I don't really understand what his promotion was. Like, I think that he got promoted in name only. But he still does the same job.
It's weird because Hashal is like, no, we asked for this one, but I don't know why. I don't know. That seems sus to me. She's a liar.
I don't know that this is going to matter again. I thought that this was going to come back. I don't know that this matters because I don't... Maybe Hashal and Matal come back?
I doubt it.
But it does seem like now that Dalinar is away... now that Dalinar has Kaladin away from that army at the end of this book, I don't know...
Well, no, I think they're dead. I think that Sadius fucking executes them.
Oh, maybe.
Like...
Yeah.
After how that... literally, Kaladin went back to get Dalinar. That is Matal's fault. Like, they're dead. Yeah. Scuff Andy, thank you for that super chat. Don't you dare.
So, Kaladin and Leighton are like, we're going to make this armor for everybody, so we're just going to spend our days just ripping corpses apart. It's really dark.
Some fucked up shit.
It's a dark book, you guys.
Tithanis, welcome back to the Nerd Table for 30 months. From Separate Science, actually the study of the natural world, and then the Cosmere that includes the magic system, which is why it's considered science.
Sure.
But that depends on where the shards came from.
Oh, because they wouldn't be natural world?
Got him! I don't know. We're not that far into
it depends on if you consider Stormlight to be natural. Because if Stormlight is unnatural to the world of Roshar, then technically studying it isn't science.
Oh!
Because it is not the study of the natural world. So get fucked, chat. Chapter 63. Teft wants Kaladin to teach the Bridgemen. They're doing spear shit in the... Not like gay spear shit. They're just doing like normal spear shit in the chasms. And they... I
wish it was gay.
He's like, Kaladin, will you just show them something? Show them anything. Mm-hmm. And Kaladin's like, no. On the day that I pick up the spear, that'll be the day I never turn back from. And he kind of becomes a like emo D&D character for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it, Kaladin. Just pick up a spear like a normal fucking person. He's
yeah.
Like, the day. He kind of becomes
He's like,
very
if I
Batman-y.
start doing heroin, I won't stop, basically. Which, that self-awareness is, I think, really beautiful. So, well done, Kaladin. But yeah, he does make it weird.
He does, he's a little... I honestly wouldn't let Kaladin have a spear after this. I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't.
You might be a problem.
He kind of comes across like he's gonna start, like, just killing anyone just to be using his spear.
Yeah.
Book 2 is just Dexter set in this world, and it's Kaladin. He's like, I only kill bad guys, but I have to use my spear every day. Or else I get the itch, I get the urge.
He's the Dark Urge. He is actually the Dark Urge from Baldur's Gate 3.
Judas, thank you for that super chat. Are you asking Sad Boy Cal to be normal? I don't know, dude.
Never.
I don't know what normal is in this world.
Never.
And so we get to chapter 64, a man of extremes. Dalinar and Navani, they do be dating.
Yeah.
Do you think they're fucking yet, or do you think they're going to wait till marriage? Is this like a wait till marriage situation, or is it a like pent up 16 years of pent up emotions? And for Navani, 6 years.
No, they're fucking.
Okay.
They're fucking.
Okay.
100%.
So we find out that Navani is a fairly talented fabrial inventor.
Yeah.
Do you think that in the 6 years since her husband has died, she has invented a sex toy? Like a fabrial pleasure device?
I feel like that wouldn't be that hard. Like, someone might have already done that. That might exist.
Can you imagine?
It's not very complicated.
Can you imagine, though, like, because fabrials, they don't have electricity, right? They've got Stormlight.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being like, fuck, I used all my Stormlight.
I need a high storm immediately.
I need a high storm because this thing will not vibrate until the next... Where is my high storm?
It. Yeah. Chris, thank you for that super chat again. Don't harass my sad boy. Look, we will harass everyone in this book club, including chat. So
yeah, fuck you,
get
chat.
used to it.
I just love the idea of the woman whose husband is just terrible at sex, who like a high storm is coming and she has to sneak all of her vibrators outside to hang them somewhere.
Yeah.
So like there's just some tree in the woods where mid high storm there's just a bunch of dildos like tied to strings that are just being infused with Stormlight.
That's so beautiful.
So she can take them back and hide them in her bedside table.
They're actually part of an art piece, right? Like they like. Well, so there's like spots you can put them outside, right? So you have enough that like some stay out there and get charged, and then you go grab one, you take it and you use it, and then you can like put it back on the statue, you know? It's just all part of an
You're
art
not
piece.
going out mid high storm to get a vibe. I mean, maybe you are.
No, I just mean like.
You think they keep their vibrators outside full time?
Yeah, the high storms are very sudden. Sometimes you literally cannot predict them. So you just have this like, beautiful art sculpture that you take pieces off and replace.
There's a high storm coming. Oh, fuck. Go in the other room. She's like rushing to get her dildos out on the tree.
I wouldn't be surprised. Scafandi, thank you for that super chat. A clean and a recharge.
That is true.
You do need to make sure you get the creme
way to clean your toys
off of it, actually, though. What?
God, that was so gross.
Yeah, the creme from the high storm, like gets on a roof and stuff.
Yeah, the high storm creme. That's the thing you need to clean off.
Ernesto, thank you for the super chat. Alethea are too prude for toys. That's what they want you to
Ernest
think.
Hill,
That's what
that
they
is
want
just.
You to think. It's why
women in the Bible Belt have been having Tupperware parties since time immemorial.
It's why like Utah is the most the highest porn consumption state.
Yeah.
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 Brandon Sanderson knows what I'm talking about. Anyways,
we learned a lot more in this beginning chapter about Dalinar's wife. We learned that her name is.
I literally thought, I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just read?
Well, and it was really weird in the audiobook.
Yeah, I'm sure. Linus, thank you for that super chat. I mean, everything are crabs?
Yeah, crabs is the only STI in this world. But they're big. They're just kind of like glommed onto the crotch.
Nah, I hate that.
You have to take a mini shard blade and fight them off your pubes.
Great. I love that. That's what Syl is for, actually. We already got that scene.
They weren't death spread on Kaladin. They were just like little crabs.
Were STIs.
They were STIs.
They were actually STIs.
Oh my god, gonorrhea spren. Syl, you've got to fight away the gonorrhea spren.
Fair. That's a very important job.
But do gonorrhea spren cause gonorrhea, or are they just attracted to it?
Who knows? We'll find out in Words of Radiance, I'm sure.
Oh my god, do women in this world find out they're pregnant because like pregnancy spren pop out of their bellies?
Oh my god.
You just like come in a woman and it's like little fireworks shooting out of her belly button.
It's like you get like a show, like a congratulations. They're literally fireworks. So that you know if you have to drink the tea or not, like if you want to keep it, right? At least you know immediately.
My favorites are the gender reveal spren. At about week 10, the pregnancy spread turned blue or pink to let you know what you're going to have.
Oh my god.
They save a lot of money on not burning down forests. So.
Oh, thank God for that. You know. Anyways.
I know you were faking. I didn't see any cum spread. No. You actually can't tell if a woman's faking because you can only see cum spread when you're coming.
When you are...
Yeah,
oh,
like
okay.
death spread.
So
you only see a woman's cum spread if you come at the same time.
Same time.
Yeah.
Same time. There's a lot of timing that goes into the Alethi.
Most men don't believe women cum spread exist.
Damn. That's... too real. Ernest, thank you for that super chat. That's why they cover the safe hand. It's the one they use for blood. No, that's
it just always has cum spread on it, so they have to put their fucking hand.
Oh my god.
Brandon Sanderson, you're such a fucking coward for not writing this into the book. God damn it.
How dare you?
God damn it. You coward. How dare you be respectful of your Mormon beliefs?
How dare you? Chapter 64.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
Good lord.
That was a joke. I have nothing against Brandon Sanderson holding to his religious beliefs. I just want to make that clear.
Everything we say here is a joke.
Everything we say here is a joke.
Yeah. Except that slavery is bad. That's not a joke. Just in case. Just in case.
This fucking show.
That needs clarification.
Bridge 4 is lined up for another assault with Kaladin.
Oh, this is also where Dalinar says he was a tyrant, which felt important to later on stuff.
Wasn't that way earlier in the book, too? There was a moment earlier in the book where he says that as well.
Okay. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Kaladin, Bridge 4.
I want to call out, this was the first time in the book, because it threw me the fuck off, that a Kaladin POV was inserted into a Dalinar Adolin chapter.
Oh!
Which felt...
And you were like, what?
Weird to me. And we'll talk about why it feels extra weird at the end of this book. Bridge 4 lines up. They're going to go fight. We get some really good scenes. I can't remember exactly what chapter it's in, but Moash, Scar, and someone else, Kaladin selects them to to do the fucking dance bullshit with him. And it's a really sweet moment. We get some really great interactions between him and members of Bridge 4 that he signs them up for the honor of the situation. And I really appreciated... I feel like we don't talk about Bridge 4 enough, honestly, considering they are probably the best part of the book. But...
yeah, fair.
I really appreciated those moments between those characters. And I really like Moash. I think Moash... I think that next to Kaladin, Moash is probably my second favorite Bridge 4 member.
Oh, I thought it was Rock.
I love Rock so much. I think Rock is very funny. Rock in this book can sometimes be a little one note.
Sure. And
by the end of the book, I feel like Rock is very consistent. And Moash had an arc that I found really captivating.
That is fair. Rock behaves literally based on the order that he was born in. So.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that in terms of what won me over by the end of the book was the journey that watching Moash go on a journey is more interesting to me than Rock being interesting consistently, but always kind of the same joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that joke, and I like Rock a lot. And there was a point where Rock was my favorite. Mm-hmm. But by the end of this book, watching Moash change and reveal, I feel part of it is that a lot of Rock's reveals are coming in the future. We got some really good reveals about Moash's past.
For sure.
And what drives him.
Yeah.
In a way that it really won me over. I think that Moash is... I found him fascinating, and him going from being Kaladin's biggest attractor to his most, loyal right hand in a way.
Yeah. No, I think he's
was
great.
A journey that I fully bought into, and I thought was written in a way where every step of it made sense.
Yeah.
And emotionally resonated. I think that I love Moash's journey in this book.
Yeah. No, I think it's pardon me. I think that's really, really well done.
People keep bringing up Lopen. Lopen is a fun guy.
He just got there.
Lopen hasn't changed, right?
There,
Lopen. I hear what you guys are saying. Lopen is funny. The Gancho thing is a good bit. It's not I don't know anything about him yet, and he hasn't had an arc.
I think we'll get to Lopen.
Oh,
for sure.
I think we're also going to get to Rock, right?
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot going on behind these characters. Mm-hmm. Moash is the one that actually got to grow and change throughout this book, and so that's what I care about more than is Lopen's bit funny.
Yeah.
Or is Rock's bit funny? Which they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Amboss asked how you clip on YouTube. There is literally a button to make clips.
You might not have that button.
And
YouTube is inconsistent with that. So if you can't find that button, I'm sorry. But...
If you're on mobile, it literally looks like scissors. But please clip things because it helps us then find things later. So Johnny I Coleman, encourage clipping.
Yeah. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Poop emoji?
Yeah.
I think that was for Rock putting the shit in. Yeah, I got it.
Someone said Shen erasure. Shen is not a character.
I don't...
Shen is a cardboard cutout of a parchment to let us understand what parchment are and to give Kaladin the idea of the carapace. Shen doesn't have a relationship with anybody. Shen doesn't do anything. He just is there.
There are so many interesting members of Bridge 4 that I think will all have their moments, but in terms of book 1, I think Moesh, I understand.
Or Scar. I think Scar is the other one, right? I think that...
You know what's hilarious about Scar? Mm-hmm. Is that for Kaladin to spell it like the way it is in the book, like Scar must have actually spelled it out for him. Because if someone told me their name was Scar, I would think S-C-A-R. But no, it's S-K-A-R, which implies that Scar was like, this is how you spell my name.
No, he didn't.
What do you mean?
He can't read, babe.
So then why is it a K?
Because he can't... The men can't read. They don't know how to spell their names. They just know what they sound like. Brandon Sanderson wrote the book, and he decided that it's a K. But there isn't a scene in this book where a man sits down and goes, my name is Scar, it is spelled S-K-A-R, and the other characters in the room go, what do you mean spelled? I don't know what any of those things you just said are.
I just think it's
what do you
really
mean
weird.
You think he spelled out his name? They can't read! They're men!
We're men in tights.
I really think he must have spelled out his name. They can't do that.
Then why is it
just read 1,000 fucking pages about how men can't read.
Judah, thank you for the super chat. Lopin sounds like Michael Pena in graphic audio. Oh, okay. From...
Where's Michael Pena
Ant-Man?
from? There you go.
It took me a second.
Sigil probably can read. Skepcat, yeah. I don't know where Sigil's from, but it might not be this planet. Mm-hmm. Sigil is also interesting, and I think that, again, a lot of these characters have future stuff coming.
Yeah.
Moash I honestly thought Moash was going to die because he had such an arc in this book that I was like, oh, this character, he's the one that has the most change because he's going to die in this book. But he didn't. The ones that died were ones that I had never read their names before.
Yeah.
And in fact, couldn't tell you who died at the end now. Chapter...
it's Maps, Earless Jax, and
Dunny died at one point.
Yeah.
But no, in the final, the three that died saving Dalinar
are Maps.
Yeah, Maps, I knew.
Earless Jax, and somebody else.
Yeah, there's another one. I don't know. So then we get to Adlin's POV. And Adlin is chilling. He's very surprised that he was wrong about his dad. But now that he believes his dad is not crazy, he's excited. He's like, you know what? We're going to save the day. So Dalinar, Adlin, and Sadeas get together because boom, we're going to the tower, bitches. Every time we've gone to the tower, we've lost. But this time will be different because Dalinar, Sadeas, and Adlin are going to work together.
Damn.
And so Sadeas shows up, changing the plan at the last minute by being here instead of meeting over at his camp. Not for any particular reason. He's not setting anything up to be a massive betrayal. Anyway, chapter 65, the tower. We get there, and Dalinar and Sadeas are talking about how there's about 10,000 Parshendi. We do kind of get there's some dialogue about how, according to the scribes, the Parshendi only have 20 to 30,000 soldiers left.
Yeah, that seems like bullshit, but sure.
I don't know how the fuck they think they know that.
Yeah.
I would love to see the scientific method behind that claim.
That one's math, actually.
Men can't do math. Counting Parshendi is not math. it seems wildly speculative to say that an enemy that you do not know where they are from, that has consistently showed up with the exact size force that every plateau needs, has somehow been diminished when you don't know. Like, I genuinely do not understand how for 1 second the Alethi are so cocky that they think that they know how many Parshendi are left when they don't know fucking anything about the Parshendi.
Yeah.
Like, it just... this line made no sense.
The Alethi are actually the most arrogant group of people I have ever read about.
Oh, there's probably only 20 or 30,000. Based on fucking what?
Yeah, I know.
You don't know where they are.
And nobody asks.
You've never gone further into the plateaus.
Nobody's like, hey, what makes you think that?
You don't even know what they started with. You don't know, you literally don't know who these people are. Yeah. And you're like, there's gotta only be like 20 or 30,000 of them, right?
Yeah.
Based on fucking what?
No, I know. It can't be true. It literally cannot be.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah. Anyways, they're fighting. Kaladin's doing the decoy thing. They're getting the arrows directed at them.
Memonk says more arrogant than the Aes Sedai. Yeah, the Aes Sedai at least had a fucking woman in every court in the country to feed them. The Aes Sedai had information. The Alethi don't know fucking shit about the Parshendi.
Yeah.
Like, even
they don't even know they're fighting men and women.
Philip says they may have had an idea of how many there were before the war. How would they have known?
Maybe.
They don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
They don't know where their home base is.
Where did they come from? Where did they go?
Cotton Eye Joe! If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? That is the most popular song in the city that Clarus and I are from. That is number 1 on the iTunes charts every day in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Cadillac Ranch.
Cadillac
Ranch. It's up
Parshendi Joe.
Oh, God. Incredible. Truly just incredible. Yeah, Kaladin's doing his little dance thing, and they're helping get the bridge across. Teft and Scar both get shot, but it looks like they're gonna be okay. They're not like... Scar gets literally shot in the foot, and he's like, that's the dumbest fucking place. The foot, of all fucking things. Teft looks like a little bit bad, though. Like, he's he needs some medical attention, for sure.
Yeah.
Dalinar's getting the bridges down. He's gonna get across, gonna go fight some Parshendi. And that Thrill shows up again. He's like, hey, isn't this fun? And he's like, yeah, you know what? Having a good time. And then he sees a boy. He sees a youngish Parshendi. And it all goes away. He's like, oh fuck, no wait. I'm just slaughtering people. Yeah,
I want to call out Dalinar here a little bit. And it's a call out that Kaladin... I'm really just calling him out because Kaladin does it. But Sadeas is like, let's just attack together. Like, what? And Dalinar is like, no. I will not ask men to charge bridges towards the chasm for me. But once you get me a landing spot, I will absolutely use the bridges to cross. But, like, only... Like, Dalinar, just fucking man up. This was bullshit. And Kaladin calls him out on it. Dalinar's internal logic here about not wanting to ride behind the bridge run, but that he will once the other bridge run is successful so that his bridge run does... Fuck you. Genuine. Like, I like Dalinar as a character. I do. But in this moment... Fuck you, buddy.
People have weird justifications.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This was the, like, weakest possible justification for his actions. And
here's the thing. You have to draw your line somewhere. And Sadeas is obviously going to keep putting these men at risk. And so Dalinar is like, I can't do anything about Sadeas doing it, but at least I can do something about me doing it. And I agree that, like, it doesn't really make that much sense, but I understand having to make a distinction somewhere. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point in anything?
Nah, it's just an excuse. And
it's
honestly...
It's a weak excuse, but I get it.
It did make him getting betrayed feel a little bit less awful because I'm like, yeah, you got into this position because you compromised your morals, right? Like Dalinar ends up in the position where Sadeas can betray him and he doesn't have his own bridges because Dalinar allows Sadeas to compromise his morals on using bridgemen. And the only thing that saves Dalinar in his compromised state, because he compromises his own morals, is that Kaladin is not willing to compromise his.
Yeah.
Right? Kaladin's moral upstandedness saves Dalinar from his lapse, basically.
Yeah, that's
which is good storytelling. It's not a complaint about the book. It is just me saying fuck you to Dalinar for this excuse.
Yeah. It's like weird wartime justifications that people
100%.
make, which like are in hindsight, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But it is noticeable that the time where everything goes wrong for Dalinar is the time when he does compromise on this, right?
But he doesn't compromise on this. He says, you, Sadeas, you go, and I...
He says that he doesn't compromise on this. He absolutely does, right? This is the time where he changes from using his bridges to Sadeas' bridges. And it is him compromising on his morals.
Because Sadeas is like, yeah, I've had, like, a fucking fraction of the casualties I've had because of reasons.
Oh, sure. But I'm just saying,
like, oh, okay.
From a narrative point of view, the setup that Brandon Sanderson is doing here is that Dalinar is betrayed at the battle where Dalinar finally caves and compromises on his morals. That is the storytelling that is happening here. It's just I'm complimenting the storytelling. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm saying that this is like the function narratively here is Dalinar has been upstanding and has been succeeding, but not succeeding as hard as he wants to. And so he decides to, in an effort to succeed as completely as he wishes to, at the tower, this like beacon of of loss for the Alethi, he compromises fully, right? And uses Sadeas' technique, which at the beginning of the book, he had been so adamantly against.
Well, because Sadeas is like, oh, well, it's a fraction of the losses. It's like a weird half measure, which is why it feels so like bleh.
Regardless of that, though, it is still tying Sadeas chipping away at Dalinar's morality to the point where Sadeas betrays him, I think is just good storytelling.
Yeah.
I think that is well done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Blue brings up that the king pushes him to use Sadeas' bridges too. Yeah, but it is still Dalinar's morality that he compromises on. Yeah. And if he hadn't compromised on his morality here, he would have had his own bridges.
Yeah. And then
he would have brought them, but he doesn't because he compromises, and so his moral compromise is the only reason Sadeas has a window to betray him.
Yeah.
But without that moral
compromise, and then the Parshendi fucking show up to fuck shit up. And then Dalinar's
well, they're already there.
It's super weird that there was no scout that warned us. Ain't that a shock? Turns out Sadeas is getting the fuck out and leaving Dalinar behind to die. Love that. Fabu, thank you for the super chat. I'm pretty sure I was conceived on Halloween. Well, you know what? I'm happy for you.
I have no idea what that means.
Does that mean it's your birthday?
No, Fabu believes that he was conceived today.
No, on Halloween. So
well, no, because that's not 9 months from now.
Is it not? July, August, September, October. Oh, yeah, no, it is. It is. It's 9 months. If you were conceived on Halloween, you would have been probably born in July. That's 9 months.
Oh, I was going the other way. Yeah.
Fabu, happy birthday!
Happy conception day.
No, happy day of birth. The conception was on Halloween.
I'm so confused. Let's move on to the book. Fabu, this is book club.
No, it's Fabu's birthday.
You haven't read the book.
Happy birthday.
Read the book.
You're going to get spoiled, though, if you are here.
Happy birthday, Fabu.
We're at the end of the book.
I will see you at DragonCon.
DragonCon?
DragonCon.
No, happy birthday. That's
Ernest Hills, thank you for that super chat. That honor will get you killed one day, old friend. What's interesting is that I actually disagree with Sadeas there. Because it's not actually Dalinar's honor that gets him killed.
It's him not having his own bridges.
It is him actually, like, not having his honor. That's what's so fascinating about it. Yeah. Like, Sadeas thinks that it is all about his faith, but it is actually about the moral compromise of deciding not to bring his own bridges.
Yeah.
Right? Like that the reality of the situation is that it is actually Sadeas, and Bryce has a good point. Sadeas doesn't understand honor. It is actually Dalinar letting go of a bit of his honor.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but a bit of it to get into the situation that allows this to happen. If he doesn't compromise on his morals around the bridges, none of this is possible because he would have had an escape route. He doesn't, though. And I think that's good story. I just think that's good storytelling.
No, it was brilliantly done, and we reacted to this. It was
a good chapter.
It was incredible.
Did we react to this one?
I thought it was 65, 66,
we reacted to 67, 68, 69. No, 67, 68, 69. We didn't react. Yeah. No, we didn't react to this chapter.
No. Okay. That's fine. Don't worry about me. Chapter 66 is codes. And Kaladin's doing his surgery.
Well, no, we see. So, no, at the end of that chapter, we do see Sadeas' bridges pull back.
Yep.
Because a second army of Parshendi. Well, but you just said the Parshendi show up. A second force of Parshendi show up.
Right.
Which is because the Parshendi have already, when they get to the tower in the first place, the Parshendi are already there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically there's like a pincer thing going on that is a little bit difficult
to visualize. Because of the break, like the...
How Sadeas manages to get onto the plateau first. Dalinar follows. Dalinar gets surrounded, and Sadeas stays by the bridges. It's sort of a weird... How that I need like someone to draw like an army map of the movements. I didn't feel like 100%. I understood in theory what happened enough for the book to work. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I would like a person who's really good at drawing to give me a graph of how... Oh my god, is there a map in the book?
It's not very clear at all.
Okay, but it might be on my iPad. You keep talking about this, and I'm going to go get my iPad.
All right. Yeah, it made zero sense to me. I even looked at it. But no, it was... I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what it was supposed to be trying to tell me. Yeah. But Kaladin helps Scar. Scar's gotten shot in the foot, and he's like, I need you to not fucking walk on this, or you won't be able to walk normally for the rest of your life. And Kaladin noticed that Sadeas is retreating, which seems weird because everything seems to be going well. Like, what's the reason to retreat? He's like, this seems a little funky. And realizes Sadeas is a piece of shit. If he wasn't already aware of that. At first he tries to reason it. He's like, oh, maybe Sadeas got hurt or is killed or something like that, and they're retreating. But no, Sadeas is there. He's perfectly chill, didn't even fucking get involved in the fight at all. He's just chilling by himself, walking away from Dalinar and letting Dalinar die. Oh, and then he does whisper. He's like, that honor will get you killed. And Kaladin's like, wait a second, that's kind of suspicious. So we go back to Adolin. And Dalinar, and they obviously have a moment where Adolin's like, I fucking told you so, and Dalinar's like, yeah, no, you're right, we're just gonna have to fucking pray, I guess, to the Almighty, who is dead. Fun fact. The one really beautiful thing about this moment is that Dalinar expects Adolin to kind of be like, I fucking told you so, what's your problem? You got us into this situation, how dare you? And Adolin is a mature adult here.
My iPad's dead.
Oh, well, that's a tragedy.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't find the picture that helpful, so maybe...
If someone could, ours, if you could, send it to me in Discord, or if someone can Discord message me it, I'd like to see it.
Yeah. We got to the point where, Adolin has a very mature moment.
Which very mature moment?
When they notice the betrayal, and Adolin's like, fucking Sadeas betrayed us, like I said.
Yeah.
And instead of, going in on Dalinar, he's like, I don't think you would have done anything differently regardless because your honor, and, I respect you for that.
Oh, yeah.
They had, a really good moment in the face of, they're gonna fucking die together because of the choices that Dalinar made.
Yeah.
And Adolin chooses not to, like, have those final moments with his father be one of, like, blame and, like, anger at one another, and they fight together.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So, you're in 66?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Scar's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're past that. So
where are we?
Dalinar is like, he gives like a little bit of a speech to be like, hey, we're gonna die. Don't worry about it. We're gonna fight because journey before destination.
They do say that a lot.
They do say that a lot. I get it. Well, like you said, I think it might actually literally give them powers.
Yeah. It's magic words.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really, like, the moment at the end where Dalinar's like, fuck, Renarin, I'm really, really sorry. This is gonna be a fucking mess for you. I was like, that's so sad. Yeah, I didn't find it very helpful, personally. Fab Boo, thank you for the super chat. 26 July 24, Claris beats Nerdy at math. Look, it is the only time in history that it will happen, like the one and only. This was a historical event, so... thank you for the super chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the problem here is that Dalinar is an idiot.
Why?
Well, because if you look at this map, Dalinar turns away from the chrysalis.
Okay.
And sets himself up to be surrounded. Because, like, even if Sadeas is fighting over here, right? Even if this army doesn't show up, this army can still pull down and still block him off from the bridges.
Yeah, but they had overwhelming numbers, so they were literally trying to cut them off. Which is what allowed him to get caught in the middle, yeah. Because he believed that the scouts would tell them if there was anyone else coming.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It feels like, looking at the map here, it feels like Dalinar punched way too far in too soon.
I have no idea how you're reading that map, but...
What do you mean? So this is Dalinar's army, right?
How do you know?
Because the B, it says Army of Dalinar.
How can you read that?
That's a B. What do you mean? It says Army of Dalinar. Army of Sadeas.
That looks like Osprey of...
Sorry, Claris is a little bit younger than me. She wasn't taught cursive writing.
No, I learned cursive.
Well, you can't read it.
That is...
So this is Sadeas' army, right? Sadeas' army pushes up a little bit for some reason, even though that doesn't really make sense, because the problem with this map is Sadeas was supposed to make landfall and then push down and create a spot for Dalinar to land, which isn't what he did. Sadeas' army curved the wrong direction, so then I don't know how Dalinar had room to land here when the bulk of the force was going to be south of Sadeas' force, but he was pushing in the wrong direction.
I have no idea.
This map is very confusing.
Anyway, that's what I said. That is exactly what I said.
I can read it though. It's just that, like, from a strategy perspective, I'm not sure that it really makes sense.
Yeah.
But like the strategies, the Alethi strategies in the book are pretty, like, not great universally.
Yeah, they make war. They don't seem to be great at it. Chapter 67, words.
Yeah.
Wonder what those could be.
Oh wait, I do want to bring up. I really love the beat of Dalinar, knowing that he's about to die, saying, like, I cannot believe I left Renarin alone to have to do this.
Yeah.
Obviously, Navani and Yasna will help him, but I do love that Dalinar's commitment to Renarin is genuine.
Yeah.
Especially considering the moment with Hoyd earlier in the book, where he kind of comments on Dalinar's lack of faith in Renarin, and I think that is more misunderstanding Dalinar than it is the way Dalinar genuinely feels about Renarin. Because he does give his later on he will give his shard to Renarin, and in this moment he acknowledges him.
Yeah.
He's his first thought, right,
yeah.
is Renarin. And I thought I like that it's not that he has a favorite son in Adolin, and that it's like bitchy and whatever. It's very genuine, and it was moving.
Yeah.
6-7 words. Yeah.
What?
That?
What?
Nothing. Lioness Vikstrom, thank you for 5 gifts. I had something in my throat. Sorry. I thought you were gonna start talking because I was trying to like.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were good. I'm sorry. I misread. Linus, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. That's 5 more people who can go watch the special stuff for the very special boys only.
Very special boys only.
Yeah.
Sadeas calls his retreat, and he has a moment on the bridge where he basically says out loud, very loud, so that Kaladin can hear him, that he's betraying Dalinar. And I found this beat very funny because I was like, I know why it's here because we had to see this. It's just very funny that Kaladin is standing by the bridge and Sadeas is like, I always knew your honor would get you killed, old friend. I really, this moment, and honestly this whole book, I really want Matt Berry to play Sadeas in the live action version of this.
Okay.
I want Sadeas to be Matt Berry so bad.
I don't know who that is.
And I think that it would be perfect. You know that, like, you really are the most devious man in New York City.
No.
That TikTok sound? You've never heard that?
No.
I don't know. This is how we talk in Tucson, Arizona. He was the voice of... he was in Fallout. He was the voice of the robots.
Oh.
That voice. I want that to be Sadeas so bad.
All right.
It would be so fun to have Sadeas be this larger-than-life high prince of the Shattered Plains.
All right. That's fun.
Yeah. It would be great. I think that he would crush it.
Happy for him.
But Kaladin is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to go slow. We're going to carry the wounded. And we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, this is our perfect escape plan. Because if they think that we die, they're not gonna come fucking looking for us. This is literally perfect. It fucking landed into our hands. Let's fucking go. Oh, and then Syl is a giant woman.
Yeah, Syl is a very large woman.
She's like, hey, I figured out what kind of spren I am.
What kind of spren was that, Clarus?
I don't know. I think somebody predicted it. Can't really remember.
What kind of spren was it? Was it fucking honor spren, bitches? Yeah, that's fucking right.
Yeah.
That's fucking right.
Yeah.
You wanna know who knows shit? This motherfucker.
Well done.
I read your YouTube comments. You guys think I'm a fucking idiot. You think that I'm just too autistic to function. And the truth is, yeah, you're right. You're right, but sometimes I say shit out loud and it turns out to be correct. 8,000 words later, 8,000 pages, whatever. I don't know. This book is fucking long, Brandon.
It's many more words than that.
Honor spren, bitches. You know who doesn't have honor? This motherfucker. I'm an asshole. I know that.
I'm surrounded by assholes. Sir.
Sergeant asshole?
God damn it. Yeah, it was great. It's a good moment. Syl is really cool. I love her. Her reactions to things and how she perceives the world, I think, is really fascinating.
Is it because she has ADHD and she feels like you?
You think she has ADHD?
I find Syl to be a very
good
analog for Clarus's personality.
You know what? I need to get you a leaf. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Also, the, like, randomly stopping and just staring into space in the middle of a room thing that you do.
Yeah.
Clarus will have a thought, lose that thought, and then try and find another thought. And rather than, like, go sit somewhere to do that or, like, I don't know, sit down or even just, like, I don't know what I expect her to do, but I will just sometimes, like, walk out of a room and, like, Clarus will just be standing in the middle of the staircase, just sort of staring at nothing. And it's horrifying. Like, if it happened, if it weren't for the fact that she sleeps so hard, if I were to wake up in the middle of the night and find her doing this, I would be terrified.
Wait, what does me sleeping have to do with this?
Because you don't, like, you're never up at night doing this. It's always just the middle of the day. And I just walk out and in the middle of Clarus is just like... Yeah,
I have complicated thoughts.
And it
is hard to operate my limbs at the same time as my brain.
It is so wild. It's so wild to just be like, do you want to go sit down? Like, It's very odd.
I don't always like sitting, okay?
I know, but like sometimes she'll do it like in a doorway. Like she'll be as if she was about to enter a room and she's just standing in the door, just sort of like turned off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're right.
It freaks me out.
I'm sorry. Linus, thank you so much for that super chat. Sorry, Nerd, but Clarence beat you to it. She rambled on her spread in like the first or second book club. I thought...
Don't take this from me, Linus.
No.
I will ban you.
I don't know.
Emrys, thank you for the librarian. Thank you for that super chat. Syl is an antidepressant spread. I'm claiming this victory, alright? Fuck off.
An antidepressant spread.
You're probably right, though. Clarence is better at predicting things than I am.
No, I thought you...
You might have implanted it in my brain.
I don't know. You were, like, certain, though, and I wasn't. I was like, oh, yeah, probably.
Well, all the wind is out of my sails.
No, you committed. Emrys, yeah, thank you for that super chat. Is there an antidepressant medication that's just called Syl?
No.
Damn, that would have been funny. Oh, God. Yeah, anyway, Syl is cool. Really awesome character. I would love to play her in the live-action franchise show thing. Just throwing that out there, Brandy.
Chris Pilkington, are you accusing Clarence of being racist?
Wait, what? I'm very confused.
I'm very, very confused. Cool. So yeah, we're in chapter 66.
No.
Oh, they're making a Trump joke. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. We were like, what? I don't get it.
So, chapter 67. Kaladin is like, you know what? We gotta go. And then Syl's like,
I gotta go.
This is bad. You should do something. And he's like, but if I do something, they will all die. And then he turns the bridge forward. He's like, guys, are we gonna do something? And they're like, fuck, fine. Yeah, I guess. And they all are like, all right, bridge up. And they start running back. I do like that the line from his father is important here. The Light Eyes don't care about life, so I must. So we must.
Yeah.
Seems like an important line.
Well, I think it is a really incredible callback to Liren not letting what's his face die. Roshon. Not letting him die.
Yeah.
And bad things happening because of that, and Kaladin decides to take that risk as well.
Yeah.
Which it makes it all the more poignant, for sure.
Yeah, it is sort of it's poetry, it rhymes moment between him and his father.
Yeah.
We cut over to Dalinar, whose shard plate is just leaking light like a fucking...
He's leaking everywhere.
Yeah, he's leaking all sorts of things. He's a sweaty boy. And the thrill also just filled his jeans with cum. Dalinar does wear jeans under a shard plate.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's the only one. People think it's odd.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, meanwhile, Adolin is in, like, Lululemon Align leggings.
Oh, yeah, because he's a bougie bitch.
He's bougie.
Absolutely.
Baby boy.
$130 leggings only for Adolin. 100%.
Actually, Adolin goes to the special Lululemon that we can't even afford to get into. Where they have the extra special
Lululemon?
For, like, yeah.
Sorry, they're Louis Vuitton leggings.
Yeah,
like
exactly. You get it. And Dalinar, they're fighting, but Dalinar turns and he sees that there's a lone bridge running back for them. And he's like, Adolin, it's some kind of trap.
Yeah.
And Adolin goes, what kind of fucking trap would it be, Dad? We're already dead.
Yeah, what the fuck do you mean?
And so, in a last-ditch effort, they turn and start fighting their way down to the lone bridge as it runs towards them.
Rob Ross, I understand. I own so much Lululemon. And, here's the thing. Your wife deserves the best, which is probably Lululemon. And I can attest.
Sure. Kaladin is running, and he sees that the Parshendi have noticed them running. Probably because they're wearing the bodies of their fucking enemy.
Yeah.
And Kaladin is like just barely hanging on here. He has used up a lot of his Stormlight, and he is, he's getting to that like end point of the Stormlight where he's feeling a little bit, but he's pushing through anyway.
There's like a drop off. Mm-hmm. Like once you use it, you kind of like have like a crash.
Yeah.
Like with caffeine.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And so he's had that like second shot of espresso, but it's not doing as much as the first shot did. And so he is running, and he realizes that because of the length of the chasm, basically the Parshendi have an angle to hit the side of the bridge. And in a moment that you can see in the reaction where I scream, he yells,
literally,
side carry, and they fucking boop that shit over. Boom, block those fucking arrows. And in the moment where he yells side carry, he releases this torrent of Stormlight out of his body, which starts the Parshendi to call him Lisan al-Gaib. And you just see Benicio del Toro walk to the front, and he goes, Lisan al-Gaib.
And then all the Parshendi just start doing,
not Benicio del Toro.
And you're like, oh my gosh, the song changed.
Oh my god, not Benicio del Toro.
I don't know.
Fuck. It's who is it? Why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know. I'm bad with names. If your names weren't all written in
Someone
chat,
in chat
I forget them.
knows who I'm thinking. Javier Bardem, thank you.
There we go.
The other Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. See, you did predict Honors Friend.
It was glorious. My mouth dropped open with limited spoilers. Channel went crazy. Yeah, fuck you, Linus Vikstrom. Fuck you.
Can't take this away.
And so the side carry moment is so dope. This is amazing. It pays off a chapter earlier. He brings back the move that got a bunch of people killed, but to save people. It's great. Super chill. Awesome. Very into it. Everything is wonderful. What the fuck do you think Neshua Kadal means?
Fucking Lisan al-Gaib.
It's weird that it's two words, because I thought that maybe they were calling him a Radiant.
Knight's Radiant.
When I was listening... Oh, Knight. Kadal could be Knight. Or Neshua could be Knight. Yeah, Knight's Radiant. Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't know. Like, languages don't have to have the same amount of words to say the same thing. So, it literally could be anything. I have no fucking clue.
But so...
It could be fucking Soulcaster. Or whatever. Surgebinder.
Sure. One of the boops of Stormlight that he uses summons all of the arrows into his shield, so much so that it is just a pin.
That image.
So many arrows that they've actually punctured the shield and his arm.
Yeah.
And so after this moment where this bridge finally gets into place to save Dalinar, he's just laying on the ground. He's having a bad day. His arm is bleeding. Yeah. He's got a bunch of arrows in him. And Kaladin is not in good shape, which is the perfect moment for
a flashback.
Kaladin's squad is all dead. Every single one of them. And
he's running around a battlefield looking for Tien.
He's just like, I gotta go find my brother. And so he runs around, meets some Light Eyes, basically gets recruited into a different force. And then he goes like, oh, no, I actually have to go find the messenger boys because orders from... someone else.
I didn't ask questions about the orders. Don't fucking ask me.
Someone else gave me the orders. I gotta go. And the guy's like, oh, well, I'm not gonna argue with miscellaneous orders. So, yeah, they're over there. And so he goes over.
Command.
Just in time to watch Light Eyes send Tien forward into a battle where he has his head lopped off by a Light Eyes sword. And Kaladin is like, yo, why the fuck did you send my brother to go do that? And the Light Eyes is like, well, because I had to use what I had, and they had to die so that I didn't. That's war. And then 16 years later, a few years later, Kaladin is like, I wonder why the bridge people aren't given shields and why we're put in front like this. I can't figure it out. It's almost like a Light Eyes in my past told me exactly why this is happening, and I'm just like, I blocked it out because it was a sad day.
Nah. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. It translates to, that was dope.
Neshua Kadal!
That would actually be very
I'm just going to
funny.
start yelling that at people when they do cool shit, and they're going to be like, so confused.
What the fuck? Especially because if they have read this and know what that means and we don't, we're going to look like dumbasses.
You know what? That's fair. It might be a slur. We might find out later that I've been saying a slur.
Don't get shit tattooed on your body unless you can read the language and know what it says.
Korean barbecue.
Honestly, I would get Japanese barbecue tattooed on my body. I fucking love Japanese barbecue.
Well, Ariana Grande did.
I'm not saying I haven't used this. Sorry, I already got orders. Excuse, get out of work when I was in the army, but it works 90% of the time. You know what, Blue? You know what? Well done.
I'm glad that didn't have any like massive consequences. And so he finds Tian's dead body, and then he goes over and he hugs it. And that moment was sad.
Until it gets cold.
Fuck. Because he seems a little fine with Tian dying at first, and I was like, what? This is weirdly not emotional. The Tian's actual death felt very cold. But then it's all brought into focus in the moment where he goes and pulls the body towards him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, nope, never mind, you nailed it. This was great. Like, the emotion of this moment worked so well.
It hurt. It hurt real good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Skipcat says, I'm surprised you didn't cry. I don't feel as invested in this book. I don't feel invested enough in the characters, too, honestly. I think that if the book had been paced in a way where I was more invested in them, I would have. But that, for me, like, in order for me to cry, I have to be there in the moment with it. And I don't think that I'm fully immersed in this book, honestly. And so I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I think the problem with it is that you can't tell me that the guy died for 1,000 pages and then be like, see, it's sad that it happened. And I'm like, yeah, but I've known.
Because it is sad. Like, you know, it's sad, but it's not, it doesn't have that, like, I punched you in the sinuses kind of sad.
And there's also, it's very matter-of-factly stated.
Yeah.
And so if you're into it, great. I'm not saying that no one should be. I'm saying I can only tell you that I
also rarely cry at books, so, like, yeah.
Yeah, and I have in the past. I've cried during book club, or I've cried during audiobook reactions before. I knew he died. Like, there was nothing about it that I felt super invested in. It wasn't a great moment for Tian. It was just sort of a sad moment in a battle. I honestly think that it's not even the most emotional death I think Dunny's death was more emotional than it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that there's just I don't even think it's the best emotional moment in the book, writing wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, welcome to the nerd table. Are
you okay?
Yeah, I just sneezed. What?
It looks like you have like a long recovery time from that sneeze going on.
I said thank you in the hopes that then you would read the rest of the thing.
Wait, you have problems with the pacing? No, let's move on.
Oh my god.
So Syl is standing over him, poking him, and she's like, "You want to do something?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what? The other reason I didn't cry is because we didn't have time. We had to go back to the battle.
Yeah.
There's no time to sit in this because we move on to epic shit, right?
Yeah.
And so Syl is like, hey, say the words. And he's like, I don't know what the fucking words are. Fuck it, I'll run into battle. So he picks up a spear, and he finally, for the first time, holds a spear. And it's the moment that changes everything as he gets up and starts running towards the battle. And as he leaps into battle with his final bit of stormlight, he realizes that the Parshendi all have infused spheres in their beards. And so as he is leaping through the air, he looks down at them all and goes... and then
it's great. It's fucking badass.
Explodes with light as everyone is like, holy fucking shit. And he just starts to absolutely butcher the Parshendi.
Yeah.
It is not close. It's barely a fight. Kaladin 1v1000's the army and he wins.
1v1000. And then he says the words. You forgot.
Oh yeah, he says the words.
He does say the words.
I will protect those who cannot protect themselves. Which just seems like a common enough phrase to be magical. But isn't that, don't cops have to say that? I know they don't follow it, but they have to say it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's to serve and protect, a thing that cops definitely do. What?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Their actual oath should be to harass and to ticket.
Oh my god. Look, am
I wrong?
That is a whole other conversation. I refuse to believe that every single cop doesn't do their job properly. But unfortunately, an overwhelming number.
Guillermo Barros, thank you for that super
to
chat.
Do dumb shit.
Which is your fave payoff in this chapter? I can't pick between Bridge 4, Side Carry Right, and the Gemstones, and which will be the coolest moment in live action.
They're both so good, and they're both fucking back to back. That like
the Side Carry moment will be better in live action.
I don't know. It's one of those
It involves more people, so it'll be more fun.
I think that the Side Carry has the emotional payoff, right? And then the like Gemstones is like more of a cool moment.
I think the Gemstones moment is foreshadowed heavier in live action because the visualization of those beads having light on them will be there the whole book, so it'll be more obvious. Whereas because it's briefly mentioned a couple times in the book, when it happens, it's more of a surprise in the book than it will be in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you translate this to live action, the audience will have spent the entire movie seeing Parshendi with lit up spheres in their beards.
Right.
In a way where they don't talk about it constantly in the book. It's just like the last time I think it's like really mentioned is 100 pages before this, right? Sure. And so I think that moment won't be as much of a surprise visually as it is in a book.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Right. And so I also just think that the live action thing will really trim down the Shallan stuff and really trim down the Dalinar Adlan stuff. And I think that if it's a movie, right, the first movie will be almost exclusively Kaladin.
It's gotta be a show.
Because they'll want you to care about... The other things will be sprinkled in, but it'll be Kaladin's story. And you
have to pick someone to center around, and it feels like Kaladin is the right choice.
So I think that we'll fall in love with Bridge 4, and then when you watch the moment where all of Bridge 4 lifts up, the camera is... like Kaladin in the foreground, the focus racks to the bridge as the men lift it up. You see all of their faces as they block themselves again, bringing it over to the side. The arrows hit. That moment visually is going to mean more to the audience because they'll care about those people than the sucking up which is a great moment, but it's just we're so used to superheroics because of Marvel and DC and all these things that the human moments will matter more.
Depending on who directs it, the shot might like follow one of the arrows as the bridge comes over and like blocks it. You know what I mean?
Could see it happening.
Yeah, could definitely see that. Yeah. Judah, thank you for that super chat. Kaladin the Paladins, divine smiting everyone. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Kaladin goes pew pew on their asses.
People are talking. I don't think that you can adapt this into. I don't know. I don't think this will ever get adapted.
Be hard.
I just don't see. And honestly, like even for a 10-episode season,
if they had the money of the Rings of Power, maybe.
Yeah, but there isn't the audience. And look, Brandon Sanderson has a lot of fans. I'm not saying that he doesn't. He has the biggest book Kickstarters in the world. I totally get that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Maybe he could kickstart a show.
The amount of money that you would need to spend to get this to work, this could be a show down the line. It could.
When we get out of the stupid 8 episodes, like, fucking funnel that we can't get out of?
I mean that when Mistborn is a hit. But I don't think that you can start with Stormlight Archive because not enough people will care. Outside of book fans, right?
No, Mistborn is better to do. It's better to start with. It's easier. It's more focused.
Or maybe like if Tress and the Emerald Sea is great, right? Sure. Start with that. Or do an indie film and make Emperor's Soul. Do a cool $5 million indie film of Emperor's Soul that's really like rad. Get A24 to do it. Make a really interesting small movie first, so that there is something in the world that is a live action something. I think Emperor's Soul would make for a great, fun little film that's not expensive, that's cheap, and get fucking Anya Taylor-Joy to be the lead or something like that. Make a small movie first.
The Asian.
Is she Asian? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that unless you want to call him a stone. But,
no. Then get fucking oh my god, Jessica Henwick.
I was gonna say Stephanie Sue.
Stephanie Sue would be great.
Yeah.
But like start with something small, then do Mistborn, and build up the idea of the Cosmere in the general population, and then maybe you can get to Stormlight.
Yeah.
But if you start with Stormlight, I really do think that the amount of money that you'd have to spend versus the realistic population of people who would be interested in it, I don't know that it would... I don't think that those things would match up. Karen Fukushima would be great. from The Boys, or the woman who was just
in Shogun.
Yeah. She's nominated for an Emmy, right?
Yeah.
I just think that starting with Stormlight would be a mistake.
Ernest, thank you for that super chat.
I would be excited because I want to see this book. I would love to see these beats in live action. Like, this isn't about my personal desire. It is just that
how the industry works.
Realistically, this is a very slow first season of TV.
Yeah.
I know that you're like, what do you mean? They do a bunch of bridge runs, but like, the reality of this as a television show is that it is a little bit slow, and
I think if they were able to kind of use House of the Dragon as an inspiration for that kind of slow burn, but like having in like
House of the Dragon has so much happen in that first season that it takes place over 15 years, right? There's a giant tourney that has its own internal plot. There is an entire war in the Stepstones that has its entire internal plot. There is a whole like
but it's the same thing where it's like there are things that happen that don't really like matter. They just kind of feed into it.
If you were making this into a TV show, it's like, well, in episode 3 they do a bridge run, and then in episode 4 they do a bridge run, and then in episode 5 they do a bridge run, and then in episode 8 there's a bigger bridge run that goes bad, and so you do kind of you run into an issue of the action in this book is kind of just the same action over and over and over again.
Sure.
And making that narratively different for the characters, I think, is going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Over the course of a 10-episode season where nothing really changes until the reveals at the end. I think that all of Brandon Sanderson's books are going to struggle with this in adaptation, is that they're so backloaded with reveals that one of the biggest problems that people had with The Wheel of Time, right? The TV show, is that like holding off on all the information till the end feeling. Which over the course of 3 months of a television show will be draining on certain members of the audience. Not all of it, but some people will peel away because that feeling of just fucking get to it is...
I think that having the Dalinar POV as like the opposition to that would make it far more interesting for the audience.
Nothing happens in Dalinar's POV. For a chunk of this book... There is a significant chunk of this book where very little happens in Dalinar's POV as well.
No, there's plenty that happens to like cut down into a TV show, and I think that having the same battles, not the exact same battles, but having battles from Kaladin's perspective as the bridge crew, and then having battles from Dalinar and Adolin's perspective as shard bearers, actually is a really interesting way to frame a TV show where they're in such opposition to one another. And the value of the human life.
The battles, yes. The narrative of our characters don't know anything about this world is far more interesting in an internal narrative. Dalinar's... What?
I'm going back to the super chat because we need to acknowledge it.
Okay, Dalinar's plotline in this book is far more interesting because we can see inside his head than it will be if Dalinar has to explain shit constantly as exposition, which is a lot of Dalinar's POV is interesting because his internal thoughts about it are interesting. But Dalinar, a lot of Dalinar's considerations of what is going on around him don't translate to television well.
I think they could be framed in context of the Way of Kings novel. Like... I agree, a lot of it does happen in his head, but I think that there is a way, because you have the novel there being read to him.
I just don't know how many scenes you can have of a woman reading a book and call it good television.
Look, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that there's enough there to go off of. Ernest, thank you for that super chat. Did you catch the death rattle of Kaladin saying his ideal? I think you mean the I will protect those who cannot protect themselves. Yes, we did touch on that.
No, that's not what he's talking about.
Then I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm going to say no. Yeah.
Oh, Arzu sent me the death rattle in Discord. So apparently it's important.
Is it spoilers? Is it in the book?
Yeah, it's... Above the final void I hang, friends behind friends before. The feast I must drink clings to their faces, in the worlds I must speak spark in my mind. The old oaths will be spoken anew.
I don't understand. That's Kaladin dying? He doesn't know. That's light-eyed child of 5 years. That's not Kaladin's death rattle. Kaladin is very much alive.
Yeah, I have no idea what you guys mean. Tithanis says Dalinar will have the same problem as Perrin in Wheel of Time Book 1. I agree, 100%. It's really hard to take a character who is really interesting because he is thinking about things a lot off of a book and make it into a movie.
Yeah, I just think that there is enough there to go off of. That's all. Like, I think that, like, I agree. You don't start with this book. Like, I'm 100% on board with you there. But I think that there is potential.
I think that even if you do adapt this, though, you have to put more information in season 1 than this book has. I think that you have to sprinkle it out and have it... You have to tell this story differently, which is a medium thing. You just have... Like, there is a lot that happens in this book that is just our characters standing at the edge of a chasm having an internal monologue that is a really good internal monologue that isn't interesting in a book. That isn't interesting in a TV show, right? Right? The way in which the information of this book is presented will have to change.
Well, but then you change things and people get mad about it. So.
100%. But then if you do make something that is true to the books, and it's just Dalinar sitting around thinking, and it's just, like, the other way to do it is just have it be narrated, but then you're just watching a man sit in a room with someone talking.
It's just like the Almighty narrating.
And so I think that
No.
I think that it is really, I think that this book, I don't know that this book, if you were to just make this into a season of television, would be very interesting to watch. I think there would be great battles. I really do. I'm not saying that all of it would be bad. The prologue would be epic, right? The Zeth stuff would be very cool. But I think that a television audience would be like, why do we keep cutting to this guy murdering people who don't matter?
Right, yeah.
Because how do you explain who all of these people are when you can't have a book explain them? Zeth is that you can't have the Zeth scenes be like, I am now going to murder the king of Yavkaved.
Yeah, the problem with Zeth is that you'd only be able to give him 1 or maybe 2 scenes, and it would be weird. Like, I don't, that part I don't know how you would do, but... Arzu, thank you for the super chat. On the death rattle, void equals chasm, feast on their faces equals stormlight in their beards. Yeah, but Kaladin didn't die.
I think, like, yeah, you can stretch it to say that, but let's read this. Friends behind, friends before. There are no friends before him. I guess that this is all just prophecy shit. But
wait, so this is supposed to be from Kaladin's perspective, like he
above the final void I hang. Yeah. So this death rattle is Kaladin saying that his friends are before him, which is not true. And apparently all of these are just prophecies for things that are going to happen in the books.
Well, that's why Taravangian is collecting them.
Yeah.
Dalinar isn't his friend right now. Sorry. Like, I don't think that...
Calling Dalinar Kaladin's friend in this moment feels like a stretch.
Yeah, the point that, like, the reason that Kaladin going in to save them is so poignant is because he doesn't
care about them.
Know that they are a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a bit weird. Yeah.
Great. That's prophecy stuff that I don't care for. I don't care that this child is seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff doesn't matter to me at all. Personally, it just doesn't. I don't. Yeah. The fact that, like, some kid.
Here's the thing: it matters to Taravangian.
Sure. And like, there might be a way that this becomes really interesting later on. In this book, it isn't to me. And other people care for it. I'm not saying that I am the authority on what is good or not. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I also the death rattle things at the beginning of chapters are so not memorable to me.
Yes, they don't stand out at all.
They are so outside of the narrative that I could not tell you a single death rattle that I remember, even remotely remember.
Mr. Kite has a great thing for it. I found the death rattles to just be noise. Yeah.
Yeah,
because the expectation
it's a cool idea.
Later on, I'm gonna go back and be like and read them to try and find clue. I want to watch my characters go through it. I don't care what somebody whispered in a room while they died.
I probably will for book club because I want the brownie points of being able to predict things. But if I was reading this book without book club, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh well, those will be relevant when the book tells me that they're relevant, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, the thing about that is, like, yeah, you can say, like, that this is the Kaladin moment. It could be any moment where Kaladin uses Stormlight from Parshendi Beards in the rest of the series.
That's true.
It's not going to be the last time he does that, right? So, like, the idea that, like, that death rattle is this moment when he's probably going to breathe in Stormlight near chasms when Dalinar... It actually probably isn't this moment. You know what? That kid has probably seen a moment later on in the series when Dalinar and Adolin are actually his friends.
Yeah,
realistically,
there you go.
This is going to happen again. This isn't even like going to be a unique situation in this world. Kaladin is going to be surrounded by enemies with friends on either side of him and breathing stormlight from people's beards near a chasm again. Because guess what? That's where all the fighting fucking happens in this series. So calling this a prophecy isn't even a prophecy because it's just going to happen all the time.
Unless we leave the Shattered Plains.
No, because Yazd and Shallan are finally headed there. We better not fucking leave the...
Well, and also he becomes the guy of war, so...
It would be so funny.
No,
for them to dip out and Shallan and Yazd to show up and nobody's there.
No. Oh my god.
Shallan's just like... Yes, are you sure? You sure your father's here?
God damn it. Chapter 67.
Yeah, we're already in chapter 6. Didn't we already talk about this? No, we didn't. Come on, this is going to be a long book club, guys. Sorry, we have so much left to talk about, and we were already at 2.5 hours. Adolin cuts to the Parshendi. He's trying to get to his dad. But it's going well. They're making... Or no, they're on their retreat right now. So they're trying to get down. We cut over to Teft.
Teft is like, hey, Kaladin's over there. He's doing some crazy fucking shit that's obviously Stormlight. And all the Bridge 4 is like, what the fuck is Kaladin doing? And Teft wastes no time. He's like, all right, get your shit together. We're going to go help Kaladin, Bridge 4.
Yeah.
Bridge 4 strong.
So they take on... Oh, right. They take on a defensive formation. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. I think the death rattles is Easter eggs for rereads. Honestly, ignore them on the first read through. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Book club is not gonna be me hunting down to try and prove that certain death rattles matter to certain moments.
No, I think for rereads they're really fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Dalinar is fighting. And he's getting his ass kicked a little bit, just because of sheer numbers, not because of quality of combatant. Yeah. Oh my fucking god! Sorry.
They just like to mow on Fridays.
I know, but they waited until why are they? It's like 1:30 anyway. And so Dalinar is surprised to see that Parshendi Shardbearer that has been around is finally in this battle. He waited until Dalinar was basically fucked. So this is my question about the honor of the Parshendi, right? We say that they're honorable, but this Shardbearer is not showing up to this fight until Dalinar is basically too wounded to be a real combatant.
Sure, but once they start fighting, nobody interferes.
Yeah, but that is a really warped view of honor, in my opinion.
Taking advantage of your enemy while he's weak?
Yes, that's what I mean by... To do it in this way... But
then they would chase people that were injured.
I know, but that's why it doesn't make sense. If you're willing to start a 1v1 with someone who's basically already lost...
I think that they think it's worth it for the shards.
So, but then it isn't an honorable thing?
But he salutes him. I don't know. That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense. For them to be the Voidbringers, it doesn't make sense.
But they're...
They are inconsistent in their own bullshit.
And so Dalinar is basically just trying to hold this fucking Shardbearer off because he is a little bit fucked, and this Shardbearer is crushing it. He does manage to get some licks in, but he is losing this fight. He uses the terrain
for his advantage. Well done. Big brain Dalinar over here.
So we cut over to Kaladin, and Kaladin starts to run around looking for officers. And when he can't find a good one, he just becomes one. Kaladin literally just is like, I am the captain now. You fucking do what I say. And he starts he literally just walks up to Lannis and like, you fucking do this. You fucking do this. Where's Adolin? Where's Dalinar? I'm gonna go get them. He walks up to Adolin and he's like, Adolin, shut the fuck up and retreat. None of them are gonna leave without you. Get the fuck out of here. I'll go get your dad. I got this. God damn it. These fucking Light Eyes can't do anything. I will take care of it. And so he kicks them out. He fucking yells at Adolin. And we cut over to Dalinar, and he is on the ground. Dalinar has been shoved on the ground. The Shardbearer is attacking him, and the Parshendi doesn't kill him right away. The Parshendi looks at him and says, "It is you. I have found you at last." Clarus, what do you think the Parshendi... Clarus?
I think there's a prophecy about Dalinar.
Clarus thinks there's a prophecy about Dalinar. So, probably true. I think that this Parshendi was at the... my theory is that this Parshendi person was at the treaty signing, and he remembers Dalinar for some reason. Because I think that eventually we're going to get flashbacks from other characters' POVs in other books. And I think that in the Dalinar flashback book, whichever one that ends up being, we will see that night from his perspective, and this Parshendi character will be a full character instead of just a nothing. And so there's a disturbance in the Parshendi ranks. And Dalinar is like, what is that light? And we cut back to Kaladin. Kaladin is fucking fighting his way through. He finds a way to Dalinar, and he uses his super magic breath ability to leap in and stab the Parshendi Shardbearer through a hole in the back of his calf armor. And the Parshendi are chanting, Neshu Wakadal, Neshu Wakadal. That shit is so dope. Neshu Wakadal. And he's like, look, he also manages to find Gallant, the horse, who has just been chilling in the battlefield, I guess. I guess the Parshendi don't attack horses. Because Gallant is just, like, around.
Yeah, they don't kill Gallant. They literally are just like, no.
Yeah. And so he brings Gallant. Dalinar's like, we could get the shards. And Kaladin's like, shut the fuck up. You light eyes are all fucking stupid. Let's go. You're barely alive. I have no armor on. I am just a naked man with a spear. Let's get the fuck out of here. And Dalinar's like, you know what? That's actually a really good point. And so they ride off, and the Parshendi do not chase them because honor. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand the I found you at last thing because Dalinar is in like really distinct shard plate. You'd think he'd be like really easy to find.
But that's my point about like but I don't think that he's been able to take I think that he's known where he was. I think he's known that Dalinar has been on. I think that he was watching Dalinar in a previous battle, but he couldn't join that battle for whatever reason. And so he's found him not in the sense of like, I didn't know where you were, but like, I have found you on the battlefield at last. I can finally like, oh, actually, no. I don't think he was wearing his shard plate at the dinner with the Parshendi, at the treaty dinner.
And you think that, like...
Because it's when he sees his face. So I think that he sees his face again because he saw him at the treaty dinner. That's why I think it has to
So they're looking for someone whose face they recognize. They're not looking for Dalinar.
Because it's specifically when his helmet comes off, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he recognizes him.
So they can't know his name. They only know what he looks like.
Well, I mean, they might also know his name, but...
Well, no, because if they knew Dalinar, High Prince, with shard plate, it'd be pretty easy to find.
In the middle of a battle?
Yeah, they stand out like fucking sore thumb. They're
well, but they might not know that he has shard plate.
The king's brother, the black.
Sorry, so they might not know what it looks like, right?
He's the only one who doesn't paint it. I don't know.
Why would the Parshendi know that?
I just assume the Parshendi are smarter than the Alethi and they gather intel.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because there's only 20 shard. Oh no, wait, those are blades. I don't know how much shard plate. Is actually around. Yeah, I don't know. It must be like a visual recognition.
It's specifically his face that he sees.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe Dalinar's wife was a Parshendi.
Oh.
But I can't remember. No, there's no way. And this guy's like, you fucked my sister. I've been trying to find you to kill you, you know?
You know what, babe? You have some really great prophecies.
Prophecies?
Yeah.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, really great. Good work there. Chapter 69, Justice. Navani comes stomping up to Sadeas and is yelling at him and is very emotional about Dalinar and the betrayal that has happened. She knows. She fucking knows. And he's all like, oh, I'm so sorry. I wish I could have told you in a better situation. It sucks. Mm-hmm. This scene would be hilarious if it was Matt Berry. And so Navani is like reasonably upset. Like she very much cares. She feels like every man she loves dies almost immediately. It sucks. Not almost immediately. But
all the men in my life.
One thing I will say is I do wish in the conversation when people are like, what do you mean by like the pacing of this book feels off? I wish that this was a little bit earlier in the book.
What?
And I understand this section with Navani. I understand that this book is happening chronologically.
Wait. So you think that the betrayal should have also happened earlier?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I wish that this section with Navani and Sadeas had taken place before we knew that Dalinar was 100% safe.
Oh.
Right? Like, this scene coming in after we have already seen Dalinar saved and safe feels like a missed moment to me, because her drawing the glyph on the ground is really cool, and burning it, and like the way this scene plays out is awesome.
Oh yeah, the art.
But we know that Dalinar is 100% safe in this moment.
Right.
The danger has passed narratively, and I think that this beat of her drawing the glyph and then it cutting to Kaladin deciding to go back would have hit harder for me than her drawing a glyph to save a man that's safe.
Yeah.
It's just this whole thing plays out where she's upset and we're like, don't worry about it, he's fine. Whereas if she was like, the emotion of the scene would hit harder if we were still on pins and needles as to whether or not Dalinar was going to live.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a guarantee that Dalinar and Adolin both make it back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the idea that one of them makes it back and not the other. Obviously, one of them was going to get saved.
Mm-hmm.
But Kaladin might have saved Dalinar, and Adolin is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Renarin has to step up and be the son. That's a very cool story moving forward.
Yeah.
And how does Dalinar live with the guilt of losing a son? Like, there's a bunch of things that could have happened. This is just nothing.
Yeah.
This scene just takes place in a time where, like, it doesn't matter. We already know Dalinar's fine. Literally, no speaking character in Dalinar's army dies in this battle. Everybody's fine. So it's fine.
Yeah, okay. I think that, like, if I were to play devil's advocate for why it might be in this moment instead of earlier, because I agree. I think that would be a really good place to put it. I think that the anger stands out more here for Navani and for the audience, especially because she prays for justice, right? Like, she's not praying, like, for save Dalinar's immortal soul or whatever. She's, like, praying for justice because she realizes what Sadeas has done. We know what Sadeas has done. She's angry. We're, like, angry for her. And so if I were to guess as to why it was here instead of there, that would be my guess. But I don't think that that's necessarily better.
Why would the anger be different when we know that the betrayal is there, no matter who lives or who dies?
Well, because we know that Dalinar is about to march back, and we're like, oh my god, the look on Sadeas' face, like Navani having this moment where, like...
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I don't know. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just trying to come up with a reason why it might be here instead.
I just found it to be kind of a lame duck scene, in that it is a very good scene that takes place at the wrong time in the book. I was like, he's fine.
All right.
Literally all of this is just you being sad momentarily, but I know that there's not a reason for you to be.
It makes for really cool art. That was sick as fuck. And then Dalinar fucking shows up, and Sadeas gets really mad about it, obviously.
Yeah, and he embraces Navani for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a big ol' hug.
Yeah.
Giggity. I don't know. It's great. Obviously, we knew that this was right about to happen. And so the Bridge Fort, he's like, hey, you guys can go, and Kaladin's like, no, we're with you. We need to make sure that we have our freedom, like you said.
Yeah.
So we're coming along. And Renarin and Navani are already in Sadeas' war camp. So it's great. Everybody is present for this conversation that then happens quietly when everybody backs up.
Hypnopotamus says, disagree. If it was the other way around, it would just be fake-out deaths. That's not what a fake-out death is.
No, fake-out death is when you see somebody die, but they didn't actually, like, die.
Yeah.
Like Walking Dead. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Only to then have him die later.
I'm not saying it has to be before Kaladin decides to go back. I'm saying that it should be before we know that both Dalinar and Adolin survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that there is some tension in whether or not Dalinar and Adolin survive.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm saying. It should be before we know that they're fine. 100% fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what a fake out death is. There's no moment in this where it seems like anybody is dead.
Yeah. They're not like, oh, he's dead, but he's not dead.
Cutting away to someone else being like, oh, I think they might have died somewhere else that I'm not aware of is not a fake out death.
Uh-huh.
Fake out death is when you stab someone with a knife that kills people multiple times, and then the next chapter, they're fine.
That knife is actually not lethal anymore.
And you're like, oh, I guess it wasn't a lethal knife that you said was lethal for 12 books.
Yeah.
That wasn't a specific reference to anything. And...
not a single thing.
Horrify says, if she prayed and everyone was safe after, it could be interpreted as a prophecy or divine intervention.
But
yes,
she didn't,
which would have been really
everyone...
interesting to set it up as divine intervention, only to find out in Dalinar's vision, 5 chapters later, that God isn't real.
But she also didn't
pray... It would be fun to be like, hey, is God real? And then immediately after, you could almost set up
but she doesn't pray for safety. She prays for justice as well. So it's different.
Yeah, that's true. Why do I get so many text messages asking me if I want a job? I have a great job.
I get them all the time, especially when we're in the U.S.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's wild. I'm like, please, why do you have my number? Get the fuck off of my phone. Yeah. So...
Zephyr says, I think the issue is that the March Back and the Navani scene are happening at the same time, and the scenes are very much chronological. Yes, but the book isn't written chronologically. We've used flashbacks throughout the novel to tell the story, and so I don't think that like suddenly committing to chronological storytelling at the end of the book that you haven't committed to the entire book is the strongest choice. I think that it is. I think that we needed it to be this way because the end of the book suddenly becomes a chronological story is a weak excuse when that is not the way the story has been told.
Yeah.
That has not been a commitment that has been made throughout the novel, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect the book to be chronological because it hasn't been. And the chronologicality of this moment doesn't matter.
No.
Like there's not something about this book being told chronologically that ties it all together or allows for the information to be delivered in a very specific way. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. We get a conversation, obviously, between Dalinar and Sadeas. They both tell people to, like, back away so that... Because Dalinar comes over and Sadeas thinks he's about to fucking try and fight him. Right. And Dalinar's like, yeah, it was a really rough battle. Too bad it went the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to you for a second. And he's like, I just want... Why? Why do you do the things that you do? And Sadeas is like, because it felt like it.
Yeah.
He's like, I think that you are a detriment to protecting Elhokar. And so I set this up to possibly kill you. And then I decided to use it to kill you. Because I can't have your honor ideals infecting the king.
Yeah.
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 I
didn't like it.
I was hoping that Sadeas actually had an interest in the Way of Kings.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sadeas' motivation was not my favorite.
Yeah.
It didn't really work for me. I because he's kind of the only real villain of the book, his motivation being this was fine. It was fine to me. It was fine.
Yeah, Sadeas, I think, it's weird because the motivation itself I find lackluster, but in a way, I think that it really informs this, like, weird Alethi culture that they have. Like, if Sadeas has just been like a mustache twirly villain, I have this grand plan where I wanted to fucking kill you. Like, I think that it really just highlights how fucked up the Alethi are. That Sadeas is like, yeah, I don't really agree with you, so, you know, I set this all up to maybe kill you, and then I decided, yeah, why not kill you? It would make my life easier, so... It is
at the risk of like truly losing any faith that men in his army might have in him.
What? Sadeas doesn't rule through loyalty.
Yes, yeah, but loyalty is an incredibly valuable thing.
Sure,
and I think that like this is a level of dishonor that there are
people see Dalinar as crazy.
Yes, but betraying him and watching 10,000 or 8,000 men be betrayed to death like this would change the makeup of his army drastically. And I think that I think that Sadeas not having a real, I don't know, it was fine. It was totally adequate. It was totally adequate, right? It's not like bad. It just didn't really. It's one of those things
where it didn't excite me, but it made the most sense. And I was like, oh yeah, people just kind of fucking suck.
I don't know.
And Sadeas sucks.
I just think that Sadeas is so undermining his own authority moving forward in this moment. And I really... Carrion says his troops would not care. I disagree. I just disagree. Like, if he is willing to throw away an 8,000 people to moderately shift his position, I don't know. I don't think that...
Sadeas fosters... like bad people. They use bridgemen as fucking fodder. They have no sense of decorum or anything like that. Like, this is... I agree. It definitely makes people more wary of you, but it highlights the difference between Sadeas and Dalinar even more. That Dalinar's people are loyal to him, and Sadeas's people are scared of him.
But you have to consider the long-term... Again, like, this book is just filled with men who only consider the day of consequences. And it's a little exhausting, right? The long-term consequences of this, when people actually start talking about it, when people start whispering about what happened, when people acknowledge the fact that Sadeas allowed the Parshendi to get a hold of 4 pieces of shard, 2 shard blades and 2 shard plates, in order, like, the long-term effect of Sadeas' betrayal here is so much worse for the Alethi than what people think about in the moment after it happened when they're all coping with it. But when you think about the, like, long-term of this choice, there are now 3 full shard bearers on the Parshendi side.
Yeah, or you could see it as people politically are like, you don't fuck with Sadeas. He literally sacrificed Shard and all these men just for, like, to make his life a little bit easier. He's fucking psycho, like, don't cross
They now
him.
have to go into battle against 3 full shard bearers every time now, instead of 1. There's only 1 Parshendi shard bearer that they know about right now.
No, well, there's been a bunch.
Right, but right now, in the current landscape of the battle, there is 1 Parshendi shard bearer, and Sadeas just gave them 2 shard blades and 2 shard plates. Can you imagine now they have to go into battle every single time there's 3 full shard bearers on the other side of the field?
But now the
Sadeas
normies,
never wins a fight ever again.
Now the normies feel like they have a chance to win a shard blade and become a light eyes.
The fuck they do?
People think that.
When was the last time that happened? The only person who's won a shard blade recently is Dalinar, and he's dead.
Yeah, it's all a lie.
But the problem...
people believe those lies.
But you have to consider Sadeas's goals in winning this war are made epically harder.
He doesn't care about winning the war.
Yes, he does. He cares about winning gem hearts. If he has to get through 3 shard blades every single time to get a gem heart now, because the Parshendi have multiples and they can actually risk 1 or 2 every fight, Sadeas doesn't have a shard blade and cannot fight them. The Sadeas' army does not have a way to fight a shard bearer. The only reason they're winning right now is because the Parshendi have 1 shard bearer, and they're not willing to put that person at risk for a gem heart. But if you have 3 shard bearers who can watch each other's backs, you have drastically changed your enemy's tactical ability in these fights to a massive degree. Sadeas has not thought this through, and he did it because he doesn't like that the king is thinking about being honorable. You need a much better reason to do something so stupid.
Here's the thing. Sadeas himself doesn't put himself in danger. And so I don't think he cares. He's like, oh yeah, more men are going to die, but I personally am in a more powerful position now as High Prince. And so this only benefits me.
But how is he in a more powerful position?
Well, because he now is the sole influencer on Elhokar. He is the High Prince of Information.
He already had that.
He's won the most gem hearts. He has the most influence.
But he
People
did that before. He did that while Dalinar was still around.
Sure,
like,
but
Dalinar's
if you don't
presence...
live up to your reputation dies.
But Sadeas wasn't about start losing out on the gem hearts. Dalinar wasn't catching up. Dalinar wasn't, like, Elhokar was not listening about pulling back. He was like listening in that he heard the idea, but Elhokar never floats the idea that they might actually do it. Sadeas is in the same position now. He's in the exact same position he was before Dalinar was winning gem hearts.
No, he doesn't have to compete with Dalinar.
But he wasn't competing with Dalinar. Dalinar was the second last in terms of getting gem hearts, and Sadeas was far and away first.
I'm not talking about gem hearts.
Then what does Sadeas care about?
Sadeas cares about being Elhokar's ear. Like he wants to be the sole influence on Elhokar and protect him is what his excuse is. And Elhokar, he even says that Elhokar started to listen to Dalinar about this, like, maybe retreating, like, all of this thing, which is why Sadeas requested the book, so that he could try and find ways to undermine what Dalinar was telling Elhokar, and Elhokar was starting to believe. And
so you're saying that if Elhokar is starting to trust Dalinar,
yeah,
and so you think that the smart path forward is to blatantly betray that person with witnesses.
But it wasn't blatant.
I mean, it was blatant enough that everyone in Bridge 4 is going, wow, we really just betrayed that guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Sadeas says, oh yeah, the regular soldiers are going to talk, but no one's going to fucking pay attention to them.
Except Elhokar is notoriously paranoid.
No, he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't listen
The only
to
thing
anybody.
we know about him, the entire book, is that the man is fucking paranoid. That is, Elhokar is described as being a supremely paranoid individual.
And so
he's going to novel.
And so he's going to listen to Sadeas because he believes that he can trust Sadeas nobody else.
I don't think that this is. I think it's a bad strategy, and I don't think it's a good. It didn't work for me. If it works for you, that's great. I'm so glad it does. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just trying to explain my feelings. Mm-hmm. This felt like a weak reasoning behind the plot of this book, as much a plot as you can call it. The Sadeas always wanted to betray Dalinar because it was kind of working that he was convincing Elhokar to be a better dude. Is not as strong a reasoning for everything that happened in this book as I would have liked. I was hoping for the reasoning having to do with a reason that would explain Sadeas' larger goals with the gem hearts, or something to expand my understanding of this war and not just make Sadeas seem so small. Because that's all it did, was make Sadeas seem very small.
Oh yeah, no, Sadeas is the worst kind of person.
Sure, and that's fine. It just wasn't my favorite thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I've said that that's totally fair.
Sure. Ernest L, thank you for that super chat. This is people who slaughtered each other to form a kingdom. They also war with each other constantly. War meets them into heaven. It doesn't say just war or an honorable one. Honor is dead. Alethi don't know what honor is.
Oh yeah,
which is why I don't care about. Which is why I don't care.
Well, that's why the Alethi suck, and that's why I think that Sadeas' reveal.
Yeah.
Sadeas' reveal is less about true motivation, but just a highlight of the Alethi culture and how fucking horrendous they all are.
Yeah, the problem is that because they are the main characters, I really don't give a shit about them. This book has not endeared me to them succeeding against Odium at all. I want Bridge 4 to escape, go somewhere else, and Alethi culture can just die.
But it's not about culture. We literally watch the entire world get eaten by the nothing. So I don't really understand how them
but
going
that is a vision. I don't know that that's real. I don't think that they're going to fight a big cloud at the end of this, because I really hope they don't fight a big cloud at the end of this.
They're not fighting a cloud.
That's what the nothing is.
They're trying to stop.
We need to not call it the nothing because people won't know what that is. But
and everyone's seen Neverending Story.
I mean,
you all know what it is.
I watched it last year with you. It was my first time, and the movie is not good.
You're the only one. How dare you?
It's not a good movie.
How?
You can be nostalgic for it, but Neverending Story is not good.
The moment she breaks the fourth wall and you're like, oh my god, she's talking to me, is life changing. Okay.
Yeah, if you're 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's great as a kid. It is wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not a good movie.
It's traumatizing. But
yes, yeah, for no reason.
What do you mean, no reason?
What? The horse didn't need to die. What? The plot doesn't like move forward on the horse dying. The horse it's just an incredibly sad scene to have an incredibly sad scene in the movie.
It is incredibly sad.
But like the plot doesn't move forward or backwards because of that scene. Like nothing happens. The kid doesn't even care in the next scene. He's just so depressed watching his horse die, and then in the next scene he's back to like doing his thing without the horse.
The puppets were impressive.
It is just a horribly depressing scene thrown into a child's movie to make children cry about a horse dying and be traumatized for their whole lives. That has nothing to do with the plot of the rest of the film. He's not even killed by the nothing. It's just a tar pit. The kid accidentally gets his horse stuck in a tar pit. The horse dies. Sorry, this is spoilers for Neverending Story. It's not a good movie.
It's been out for a few decades. Yeah, Rob Ross, unfortunately, the Empress, the actress who played her, stopped acting because she got literally proposed to by, like,
Rob
40...
Ross? James Ross?
Yeah, it's Rob Ross.
Is that Rob Ross?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought Rob Ross and James Ross were two different people this whole time.
You thought we had a different mod in the Discord and then a different...
I thought Rob Ross and James Ross were two different people.
I am offended for you, Rob Ross. I'm so sorry.
That's so funny. I have always thought that you were two different people.
I'm so sorry. I actually
it's just you're everywhere, and so I just assumed that no one person could do everything that you do.
That's so rude.
What? I'm sorry.
So rude. Yeah, unfortunately, the actress who played the Empress, she couldn't.
Rob, I love both versions of you in one man.
She literally had to like go into hiding because she was being stalked and proposed to by men who were 3 or 4 times her age.
Okay, we're at 3 hours. Should we do part 5 as part of the full book recap?
No. We gotta.
There's gonna be another hour of the show.
No.
You don't think so?
We can speed on this. It's fine.
I go by my middle name. Okay. So Rob. Okay. Cool. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm an asshole, but
You are.
It's a genuine mix-up.
God. Cannot. Literally cannot.
I'm the fucking worst.
I can't even. So, yeah, we feel differently.
All right, well, I'm gonna pee. We're gonna do another hour of the show.
Satis's motivation. So, Kaladin is watching this whole thing, and he's like, this is bad. This is not good, for us.
Fucking carpet.
I know.
Now it's fucking bullshit.
I know. It is the worst carpet we've ever bought in our lives. Yeah, Kaladin's like, oh, nope, this is not looking very good, and Satis is like, damn, it's too bad our alliance totally didn't work for reasons and won't work again for reasons. But Dalinar's like, these are my bridgemen. And Satis is like, no, they're actually my property. And Dalinar offers 60 emerald bromes for each bridgeman to buy them. Which I need to point out is different than the audiobook. Because I think the audiobook says ruby. And I was reading this and I was like, I'm confused. Because I have it along with me while I react to the audiobook. I don't know if that's a rewrite or if that was an accident. Don't know. Doesn't matter. That's a lot of fucking money. And Satis is like, nope, too bad, so sad. And Dalinar doesn't seem to be very surprised at this. Dalinar is like, yeah, I figured Satis would act this way. And Kaladin's a little depresso espresso because he's like, great, another light ice who can't keep his word. And Dalinar goes, hold my fucking beer, or should I say shard blade. How about you take the shard blade and I will take all the bridgemen. And Satis is like, this is going to be the stupidest decision that a High Prince has ever made, and it'll go down in history. And that's probably true, but Satis doesn't realize that the joke is on him. So he accepts the shard blade, and all of the bridgemen now belong to Dalinar and his army. And Dalinar takes them in and makes them soldiers. Oh, he lets people go if they want to go, but he's also like, you can stay and work for me. And a lot of them probably do. We don't actually see that in terms of the bridgemen as a larger scale, but I imagine that a lot of them would.
Live Fiction, thank you for that super chat. The audiobook is a revised 10th anniversary version. I finally figured out my time sync issue. All the word differences are due to that. Interesting.
Yeah, the audiobook, it was so weird because there were so many words, especially in this chapter, that were different.
Yeah.
There were sections that were like ADR'd in.
Yeah.
Again, the
in the
math.
Shallon stuff, there's some weird ADR. In Kate Redding's reading, there's some weird ADR.
The math of emerald bromes versus ruby bromes is like very
ADR,
different. And so I don't know, like, that was like super weird. Yeah. Was that a mistake or was that like a change? I'm not actually sure.
What do you think? What do you think about the Shardblade? Giving up the Shardblade. Before we talk about Kaladin's line about it.
Here's the thing, Dalinar has no idea how much he just won. No idea.
He has some idea because he did see Kaladin use magic.
Did he?
I mean, he saw Kaladin run in as a burst of light, so.
Oh. Yeah, but Dalinar is also like, I had a concussion.
Fair.
And is not 100% sure what he saw.
Fair.
But there's definitely some inkling that, I love the conversation that they have between the two of them.
Yeah.
Of what is the value of,
the priceless conversation?
Yeah. And Dalinar is like, well, based on that, like, I think I got the great bargain.
Well, and Kaladin's saying, like, every life is priceless. And I think that's the moment where Dalinar is 100% sure that he made the right choice.
Yes, 100%. James Ross, thank you for that super chat. This is why I mentioned Call Me Raw on YouTube during Twitch yesterday, because I thought Nerdy might be confused. Oh, I just thought you just wanted consistency between the two platforms. I didn't realize you did it for Nerdy.
Wait, you brought this up during her Twitch stream yesterday?
Yeah.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So you knew this whole time, and you just let me know? You didn't just message me and be like, hey, you know...
No, because this is way more funny. And it's embarrassing. It's great. Makes for good content.
Oh my god. I really just thought... I was like, oh, yeah, when James Ross showed up on YouTube, I was like, oh, this must be one of Clarus's Twitch mods.
Jesus Christ. I am so sorry. I really am. I am so sorry.
You don't respond to my DMs.
You have done so much for us. And I am so sorry.
Guys, I don't respond to DMs. Here, you want to know the real truth? You want to know the real truth of it? I can't keep up. Like, I really can't. I get DMs on so many platforms.
I think I have about 70 unread DMs right now across all my different platforms.
Oh, I have at least that, yeah.
And I'm like, I will get to them soon.
Like, literally, like...
Soon.
I get so... Between the emails, Discord DMs, Patreon DMs...
Instagram DMs. Twitter DMs.
Discord DMs...
Said that, yeah.
YouTube comments, Patreon comments. Yeah. Like, I used to try and respond to Patreon comments at least, and like, I can't. Between it all, I get probably at least 600 notificationable things a day, and it's gotten to a point where, and I'm so grateful. I'm not complaining because I do love what we do, and we're so lucky to get to do what we do.
Yeah. We're incredibly grateful.
But the onslaught of things that hit my brain every day is so overwhelming that I actually just kind of, at a certain point in the day, just completely shut down and stop being able to respond to anything.
Yeah, if we don't respond to you, don't take it personally. Please.
Can you add friends on Discord so just the mods are more important? James Ross, I will do a better job of responding to you, I promise.
We guys, we are trying to
just ask Arzu. Arzu
survive.
Knows how hard it is to get my attention, and...
Hey, listen.
I know.
No, genuinely, please do not take it personally if we don't respond to things either on Discord or anywhere else. The last couple of weeks especially have been very overwhelming. We are very behind on many different things, and we're doing our best to catch up. I promise.
There have been some problems, but
we're doing our best.
I do. If you have messaged me and I haven't responded, I am sorry.
Super chat, yeah.
I am sorry about that. It is not an intentional thing. It is, I get so overwhelmed by how many people reach out to me every day, and I literally can't keep it straight. It's so much so that it's like affecting like real world friendships that I've fucked up some things.
Wait, we're just doing our best.
Yeah,
we're doing our best. And Nerdy wants to do unlimited reactions. That is correct.
You want a house.
Yeah, I do.
Okay? We have to make money somehow.
I also
and YouTube doesn't want us to make money anymore.
I also
because all of our fucking videos get demonetized. And so I don't know. Like I'm trying. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to not spin out on the fact that YouTube limits all of our monetization.
Yeah. Fair.
Trying to make up for it somewhere. Morses Prinmon, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
I always love the imagery of Navani painting the giant justice glyph by Sidious' feet. Yeah, it's a great moment.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect. And the moment of Dalinar like recognizing him standing in the middle of it, and he's like, "What is happening here?" Because he wasn't there for that moment. It's great, fucking great.
Then we get this conversation between Kaladin. It's great. And Kaladin starts walking back with Dalinar's camp. Dalinar goes to James Ross. Thank you for that super chat supporting the house fund.
James Ross, thank you.
Dalinar goes and beats the shit out of Elhokar the king. He sets up so that his people are outside the door.
Yeah.
And then he goes in and he just beats the living shit out of Elhokar.
Yeah.
And when Elhokar's like, why? He's like, I need you to understand that
I could love
kill you. I could kill you right now, and I'm not going to.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to. See? Do you get it, Elhokar? And Elhokar's like, no.
No, explain it to me like I'm an idiot. And Dalinar's like, well, actually, you are an idiot, so I will explain it to you. Elhokar cut his own fucking strap. What a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah, because people are taking him seriously.
It is the worst cry for help I've ever seen in my life.
It's not great.
It's not great.
I do agree with that.
I can, understand it because I picture Elhokar to be, 15. I don't care if I'm wrong. But he is an actual child, and he acts like a child. And Dalinar coming in and being like, I love you. Fucking trust me already. Because shit's about to get real. You're going to name me the High Prince of War.
Mm-hmm.
And Elhokar's like, the fuck I am. And Dalinar's like, what did I just fucking say to you, son?
Mm-hmm.
You fucking listen to me. You shut the fuck up. I'm banging your mom.
There it is.
That's it. That's actually how the
You might want to get used to me banging your mom.
Yeah.
The one thing about this scene that I think is very funny is we know that in order to heal their shard plate, you have to spend a shit ton of money. Like it's very expensive because you have to crack a bunch of gemstones. And so Dalinar does $15,000 worth of property damage to get his point across.
He's got insurance. It's fine. Lioness, thank you for the super chat. Now you see the Blackthorn. Thank you.
And so, Dalinar announces that he's fucking Navani and then walks away whistling, much like every stepdad I've ever had. Part 5, The Silence Above.
The life starts playing.
We're only 3 hours and 10 minutes into book club. It's going to be a 4-hour club, y'all. Sorry about that. Chapter 70, Sea of Glass. Shallan is like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get sent away. So I need to figure shit out. And so she figures shit out. She thinks back and she's like, wait a second. And then we were 1 second ahead of her here. And I was very proud of us.
Yeah.
Shallan is like, wait, Yasna ate the bread, but didn't eat the jam. She sniffed the jam, but she stuck her finger in the jam. So she touched the jam, soul cast away the antidote.
Because she thought it was the poison.
Yes. Even though that doesn't make any sense. What makes more sense is that it was the antidote and the bread was the poison. But then... And also soul cast the bread.
Yes.
To not be...
Because it was goopy in her fingies.
In the drawing. Because Shallan has such incredible photorealistic photo memory that she can remember moments with her hands, but not with her brain.
I get that 100%.
I don't understand this kind of the only thing that I find confusing about this is that Shallan has to draw it to see it, which isn't...
You gotta see it to believe it. Seeing is believing, babe.
I hate you. No, it's that she's it's not really photo memory. It is drawing memory. It's a very strange... And
it seems kind of magical.
I know, but the thing about it that's really goofy to me is that it seems like she does have to blink in order for it to work.
Yes.
So she has like magic blink drawing powers in a way that I just find.
She is a camera. Click.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Recommendation for reaction limits for Words of Radiance. Limit to 3 reaction sessions. Each session can be multiple chapters, but no more than 1 or 1.5 hours. Clarice only has to sit for recording sessions 3 times. I'll stand for the rest of them.
We could do standing reactions.
We could. Here's the fun part. If I use reaction times to do my nails,
okay,
that'd be great.
I might paint minis.
Whoa, we could paint minis while we react.
We should be painting minis while we react.
Yeah, because having something to do with my hands would help immensely.
And then we could show you the cool minis we're painting.
Yeah, then the members get to see minis first, which is fun.
Which you can then, yeah.
Yeah, I think
maybe we'll start painting during the audiobook reactions. Unless let's try it, and if it's too distracting, let's not.
Yes, if it detracts from it, you guys,
the Subway Surfers of the millennial generation.
Yeah, you let us know. But I think that there's definitely something interesting in there of like the reactions all together are definitely easier to do than react and then read and then react and then read and then react and then read and stuff in a section. So I think we'll have to just work closely with you guys and with Arzu.
Johnny, come on, thank you for that super chat. They fully support that. Okay, we need to stop talking about doing book club and actually do book club.
Sorry.
So she goes to Yasna and she's like, hey, I figured you out, bitch. Yeah, I know what's up. You don't need the Fabrial. The Fabrial is fake because it was never real. You're a liar.
A magician.
You're a dirty liar. My phone case is fucking coming apart.
You need it. Wait, no, look at this. Look at this fucking thing. It's just
There's also a full-on, like...
Oh my god.
There's a crack
Never
here.
buy the Apple phone cases, guys.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it. This thing was like $60. Anyways.
We could paint the Rocinante.
Yeah.
It will help with the 40 reactions coming your way. Let's go.
Wait. How do you know that? House fund. Alright, back to book club.
All right.
Yeah, Shallon, big brain, figure shit out. Yasna's like, oh shit, you figured me out, but I hate you because you're a thief. And Shallon's like, okay, but hear me out. Would you want to have somebody around that you can actually trust and who actually knows what's going on because nobody else does, and I can also do the thing that you can do. Watch, here, I'm going to do a fun trick. And then she goes to fucking Shadesmar.
And she's like, can you guys take me? And they're like, we need you to say a truth. And she's like, I am a redhead. And they're like, no. Like, not something fucking obvious. She's like, I murdered my father. Bum, bum, bum.
Who called that one?
Both of us?
No. I thought it was me.
I think we both were like, she definitely murdered her dad, right?
Probably.
You might have said it first, though. I'll give it to you.
Sure.
I'm taking credit for honor spread. You can have that one.
Great. I'll take it.
But at no point did I not think that you were right.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, there was a point where it was like, oh, yeah, no, she definitely killed her dad, right?
Yeah.
And so she falls into a sea of beads. And then Yasna pulls her up onto a raft that is also made out of beads.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you're dumb. You need to come here with more stormlight.
Yeah, she's like, one sphere, you dumb child.
Yeah.
And Shallon's like, well, I don't know.
So apparently the cognitive realm, you need stormlight to be there.
And not die.
But you can also go to the cognitive realm with other powers. So I think that, like, we could see the, like, Cosmere fights between different power sets happen in the cognitive realm, in Shadesmar. Like, Raoden could show up and use Elantris magic.
Oh, like, this realm is consistent between all of the Cosmere, not just this shard.
Yes, because we've heard about this realm before in the essay that we read after Mistborn.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So if this realm is the consistent thing, you have to bring your magic here. So, like, if Vin were to go here, she would need to have metals on her.
Interesting.
If you're from Roshar, you need to have stormlight.
Yeah, you need shards.
Yeah,
to be safe here. Yeah, that makes sense.
All of the magic is god shit.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. I finished my reread and marked 41 chapters as worth commissioning.
Johnny Coleman, I just like take care of your family first, right? Put food, make sure that you're putting food on the table. We will take your money.
No, this is what credit cards are for, right?
I need it to be said that please take care of yourselves first.
Yeah.
We are not trying to milk you for all you're worth like some creators do. We are just making things available, and you guys are making bad life decisions.
Y'all are mad lads.
I don't want to take credit for your bad life decisions.
Do not take out a second mortgage to fund our audiobook reactions.
But if you want to take out a second mortgage to help us pay a mortgage, then I'd be down.
We have to get a mortgage first.
Yeah, I will pay back.
I got approved for an $80,000 mortgage, guys. I think I could buy a park bench with that.
Blue has already taken out a second mortgage.
God damn it.
Y'all are crazy. Okay, so then, Shalyn is like, okay, I'm sorry. And Shalyn is like, all right, as long as you never lie or steal again, read these notes on the Voidbringers. I really do think that Shalyn will lie and steal again.
You said you thought she would lie again, but not steal again.
Yeah, she probably won't need to steal. She'll probably be rich now. But I do think she will lie again.
Well, Shalyn hasn't told her that she has a fucking shard blade.
Oh, that's right.
Like, I fully expected Zeth to show up here and for Shalyn to whip out that fucking shard blade.
Oh, I didn't even think about the shard blade.
I know!
Right, I'm surprised we didn't get her revealing that to Yasna at the end here. I have one more. I won't lie to you again. By the way, one more secret.
Yeah. That's fair. She's never lied about it.
How does Yasna think about lies of omission as a moral thought? We didn't get into that in the philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, I keep forgetting she has a shard blade.
I know. Anyway, Zeth's going around fucking murdering shit. Gets to Carbranth, and we were like, oh no, he's gonna go kill Yasna.
Linus, thank you for that super chat. Park bench at 80K in LA? No.
Linus, thank you. No, it was 80,000 Canadian dollars, which is like 55
American
dollars.
Yeah.
Go me. That can totally get me some. It's fine.
All right. So Zeth shows up to kill Taravangian, and he's not supposed to kill the guards, so he tries not to.
Kind of.
Definitely cracks a skull, though.
Yeah.
This is a very Hitman Agent 47 sequence where he's like changing his outfit in the bathroom. It just felt very much like a video game. And then he drops in on Taravangian, and Taravangian is like, bitch, I had the bead the whole time.
I have your balls.
And he's like, why did you... Well, literally.
In my hand.
Why did you put your name on the list? He's like, well, because then if you got caught...
Contingency.
They would think that I was one of the victims.
Teehee.
Come with me. I need you to come see the fucking horror hospital that I built.
It's just a blood donation factory.
Yeah, except they take all of your blood.
Yeah, for the people who need it. You know, they keep it in a bank and they give it to the people who need it in the hospital. It's a really beautiful work.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, so
doing
he is
the Lord's work.
Slowly draining people so that he can use their death rattles to try and understand what's going on with the Everstorm. And so now he wants Zeth to go kill Dalinar Kholin.
Yeah, because apparently he's going to get in their way.
Yeah. I don't really get how. Dalinar seems very caught up in the Shattered Plains, so it tells me that somebody knows what's going on with the Parshendi. I wish I had any clue, but we'll get there eventually.
It's not for us to know.
It's not for us to know?
No.
Not for us to know.
Chapter 72. Before they get to the notes on the Voidbringers, Shalyn talks about the soul casting and is like, you said you're bad at organics. We get confirmation that blood is one of the essences, and therefore, like, it's actually kind of easy, ?
They need the blood for the Rave and the Blade movie. Well done, Rob Ross. Well, you know what? Claps. Claps for that. Good bit. Good joke. I approve this message.
So Shalyn is like, how is it possible that you don't believe in God, but you believe in the Voidbringers? Great question. Honestly, great fucking question.
Because the Voidbringers are the Parshendi, and they're real.
Parshmen. I think it's the Parshmen. I think it's not the Parshendi.
Same thing. They get turned on at some point, not sexually, but like A switch is
like
flipped.
winter soldiers. They're all winter soldiers.
To quote Nerdy, why the fuck wasn't this in chapter 70? Yeah, I found the breaking up of this to be a little odd. It's because it's a continuous conversation.
No reason for it. There's no time in between.
And the chapter's only 6 minutes in the audiobook. It's like, I just, whatever. It doesn't matter. It just felt odd to drop back into the middle of a conversation after a long chapter. Like, Recorded in Blood had so much happen that to drop back into this conversation felt
for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
And then to drop back out and then to drop back in. It just felt like Shallan was just being randomly sprinkled across this chapter in a way that didn't really make sense to me. Although Shallan is sort of sprinkled through part 1 in a similar way, where like months are passing for Kaladin, but like not for Shallan.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't really follow Yasna's logic about the Parshmen as much as Shallan does. Like, Shallan treats this like it really makes sense.
Based on the notes that Yasna has collected about the, like, fire and ash and the, like, that's why I think it might be misleading. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's too easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that the idea that the Parshmen are the Voidbringers is so horrifying. Right? Like, they are inserted into everywhere. In people's everyday lives. People trust them. Like, they take care of people's children. Like, it is a horrifying thought.
Oh, 100%. It is a really cool concept for, like, a horror thing that feels...
Oh, you were right about the angular-headed people being Spren as well.
Oh, I was. Yeah, they are Spren.
Well done.
I don't know. I think that this reveal to me felt a little bit like trying to set up a different franchise than the one it feels like we're in. It's a really cool idea to play with in something else. I just don't know that it necessarily worked here for me as much. And obviously, like, how it is executed in the following books, it might really work for me. You know what I think it is? I think that people keep saying, like, the reason why this chapter is broken up this way is so that Shallan's stuff is at the same time as everything else. It's to make it chronological, which would work for me better if these reveals revealed things about each other so that they felt like there was some crisscross. And I don't, that's what I think was missing from these reveals for me, is they feel very separate from one another.
Yeah.
The Shallan reveals feel like a different kind of awakening than the Taravangian reveals. Even though they're both about the Everstorm, they don't inform one another. They're about similar things, right? But they don't they don't like pass the information ball into each other's plot lines very well.
Yeah.
And so I think that there would have been a way, I don't know. I just felt like there are a lot of reveals at the end of this book that somehow don't make it feel more connected, but actually feel like different plot lines.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because I'm excited for where all of them individually are going. Mm-hmm. I just think that the difference between this as a Sanderlanche, because I didn't get the Sanderlanche vibes. We didn't talk about this. I don't think that this was a Sanderlanche in the way that Mistborn or Elantris or Warbreaker were, where all of those Sanderlanches had everything converging and coming together.
Oh.
This just has everything happening at the same time. But these things don't come together.
If we're comparing it to an avalanche, it's like, normally in Sanderlanches, it's like you have 3 separate peaks that all have an avalanche into one valley.
Yes.
Whereas this felt like one mountain that had several different avalanches on different sides that, like, kind of spread apart.
It does feel a bit like spreading apart. The thing that brings it together is obviously Shallan and Yasna are now heading to the Shattered Plains, and Szeth is now headed to the Shattered Plains, right?
Yeah.
The end of this book is we're all going to go to the Shattered Plains.
Yeah.
But we're not going there for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Right? And so, yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, I enjoyed the end of this book quite a bit. I think it is really well written. And again, like, it's going to be hard for me to pull a low this week.
Fair.
No, actually, it's not. I know exactly what it is.
Oh,
but,
right.
Because it's the thing that I complained about. But in terms of this Sandal, it didn't give me that vibe that other Sanderlanches have had.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Going back to the Shattered Plains, Dalinar does promote Kaladin to captain, but he kind of keeps him outside of the chain of command so that Kaladin can train his men.
Well, he doesn't keep... Kaladin demands that he doesn't...
Sure. And he's like I can understand. He's like, I get it.
His reasoning's great, but Kaladin's reasoning is that if you want me to protect you from outside forces, I need to not have a random Light Eyes be able to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And get in the way of protecting you, because that Light Eyes might be bought off.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
You don't know who you can trust.
Yeah. And he says it makes sense.
You were betrayed today.
Yeah. You're going to be outside of the chain of command. You are in charge of 1,000 men.
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you here.
No, you're
I
right.
love that Dalinar starts this interaction by apologizing for how late it is. Because Kaladin is saying they're being like, fuck, this guy's not showing up. Like, but he does. He's like, Syl, he's like, Syl, can I even trust this guy? And Syl says that he's honorable, and like she should know that's her only thing. And
no,
before
her
Dalinar,
only thing is sticking things to other things.
This is important. Before Dalinar shows up, Kaladin is standing there wondering if it was worth it to kill Parshendi. He's like already conflicted about killing Parshendi. And so Dalinar shows up and is like, I'm sorry, I'm late. I know about the late hour. I'm sure it's been a long day. You're probably very tired. And Kaladin's response of like, I'm not going to sleep tonight. And he's like, yeah, fair. Good point.
Fair. Yeah.
So there's three really important things that are revealed here.
Kaladin's command.
Kaladin gets 1,000 men.
Yeah.
Kaladin is not in the chain of command, like you said. And Kaladin's men do not have to fight in the war for a year. They're going to go do skirmishes on the outer skirts of this to go find bandits.
Yeah.
One, for proper training, but also because Kaladin isn't sure that he wants to fight Parshendi, and he wants a year to go consider philosophy. So I think
he's gonna go with Jasnah.
I think he's gonna meet Jasnah.
Oh, cool.
And I think that they're going to labone down over philosophy, and then labone down physically.
Okay, all right.
I think that because I was under the impression
they're 15 years apart, but that's fine.
What do you mean they're 15 years apart?
Jasnah is in her mid-30s, and Kaladin is 20.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, he might like older women.
I thought she was like 26.
No, yeah. In the beginning, remember? Because I was like, mature.
No, you're right.
Yeah, no, she's in her mid-30s, at least. Look, I think they could be good for one another.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
But he's no. It's
Kaladin's outside of the chain of command, so she can't have authority over him.
No, he's too young for her. She needs a man, or a woman. I don't know what she's into. Interesting. No, that's a good point. I forgot that she was that much older than him.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So then he
actually
wants...
Jasnah and Syl bone down.
Why are we guys trying to get so late? Dalinar has this bundle under his arm. He gives Kaladin the cloak that he wore in battle that day, which is probably just shredded at this point.
No, we fixed it.
Yeah, but like, it's just Kaladin's gonna have the patchiest fucking.
No.
It doesn't regrow like shard plate. The thing was fucking torn asunder. Get him a new cloak. Don't
give me this used shit. No, it's symbolically.
It's a beautiful one. I'm just making
notes.
Yeah.
It is wonderful, and he says, my family wears this. Like, this is, very it is. It means a lot to both of them. And Kaladin goes back to Bridge 4, and of course they're eating stew because that's what Bridge 4 does.
That's what they do at night.
Yeah.
And other people join, and Rock is gonna need a bigger cooking pot.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I really loved the storytelling at the end here because this is our last moment with Bridge 4, and them being like, all right. Sigil's like, this is the most superhero comic book shit ever, where Sigil's like, I'm going to put together a series of tests so we can figure out exactly what you can do. Yeah. And Kaladin's like, we can't tell anyone. And so he literally is going to be like the army's Batman, trying to like secretly use his super... It's actually, you know what, it's more Smallville.
Never seen it.
Except Sigil isn't going to try and recruit a bunch of women into a sex cult in 12 years. Because Chloe Mack played the character that did the test. Yeah. Anyway, that was for all you Smallville heads out there. Don't join sex cults.
Don't traffic people. There is an Adolin Kaladin fanfic. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So...
Google
Don't
it.
Worry about it.
She's been convicted, so like yeah.
Just Google Chloe Mack and find out that it's wild. It's a wild story. NXVIM. God, that was crazy. Static Shock, like, to me, yeah, actually, it is more like Static Shock.
All right.
Just because there's so much racism.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but actually, though, right? Like,
yeah.
Static Shock gets his powers because of racism, and
yeah. There's also this really wonderful dynamic of Kaladin is really worried how the bridge crew is going to see him, and they're just kind of like, can you teach us to do it too?
Cool kid, you have superpowers. He's like, everyone's gonna be so scared of me. He's like, dude, no, I want to fly.
Yeah. I loved it. I was like,
I want to suck on Parshendi's balls. I mean, wait, that's not what I meant. Fuck.
What?
Sorry. Anyway.
I don't get the reference.
Because the balls and he goes, and he gets powers, so he's sucking their balls. Kaladin's really just going around sucking balls.
All right, sure. Yeah. Chapter 74, Ghost Blood.
This conversation continues.
Yes. Should have been all one chapter.
Well, no, because this one at least... Okay, the difference between 72 and this one is that this isn't a direct continuation of the conversation. Okay. Yasna and Shalyn took a couple of hours break so Shalyn could read the notes.
Yeah, that's fair. They go over the Voidbringer notes. They think that it's the Parshman and how really bad that could be. Then they try and connect it to Gavilar's death and the Parshendi becoming warriors and not really Parshmen.
Yeah.
And then we find out about this secret society called the Ghost Bloods. And it's a group of people who are also searching information about the Voidbringers.
So Taravangian is definitely... Ghost blood, right?
Yeah, because
the
Shalyn is like, the symbol that I saw on my dad was also, bless you, symbol that was on Capsule. And so they're all interconnected in a probably big bad way. Shalyn's like, oh shit, my dad was part of that. That's not going to be important.
Karen brings up a good point. I know what you mean, but gets his superpowers from racism could be taken very differently. Static Shock is not racist. The police use an experimental gas on a bunch of black people at Coney Island to attempt to subdue them during a manufactured gang war. And that gas gives a bunch of black people powers. It is to be reminiscent of the horrors of the Tuskegee experiments in the United States. I want to be clear about how Static Shock gets his powers.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
He's not... Static Shock himself is not like a racist superhero. He rocks, and he's one of the best superheroes. Seriously, the fact that DC has not made it static... It's the dumbest. A crime. He is your Spider-Man. Stop fucking around. Sorry, James Gunn. I love you, but like, I don't know why you have not announced a Static Shock movie yet.
Yeah. Chapter 75. In the top room. It's another one of Dalinar's visions. We reacted to this, and basically we find out that God left behind basically a tape recorder that Dalinar just thought he could hear him when actually he couldn't. God was just trying to have like a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you know how in Doctor Who and Blink where one's in the future and one's in the past, and she writes down all her answers to like send to the future so that they can make the tape to then send to the past. You know, that kind of thing. Super easy. Super duper easy. Anyways, God is like, hey buddy, I'm really fucking sorry. Good luck. Hopefully I've given you enough very cryptic information to go off of, even though I haven't explained anything.
Yeah. And we haven't seen all of these visions. I think that we're going to, in the Dalinar flashback book, one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to see more of these visions. Not that, I think that Dalinar won't have any more of them.
Yeah.
But that we will get flashbacks to them, and that this will be the last one.
Or he'll just keep reliving them in order.
Oh, that's possible.
And
he gets more information each time because it's like Groundhog Day. He knows what's going to happen, so he can ask different questions to get. That would be fun.
Well, and he can interact with the world differently.
There's a version of that I would really love. Yeah,
I think that's a fun idea. Yeah. Well, yeah, because we don't know that they're going to end, but.
And so he's like, you need to rebuild the Knights Radiant because Odium killed me. And
yeah, he's a dick.
Oh yeah, Allison Mack, Chloe was her character. Thank you, Z-Tom. I did make her Chloe Mack. I'm not good with names, okay? I'm sorry, Rob Ross. I apologize.
Scovandy, thank you for the super chat. Dalinar has been playing the best MMORPG. I want to play it, honestly.
I would play this game.
I would play it, 100%.
Honestly, this world might make a better video game than although it wouldn't be very open world. So yeah, I don't know.
True, but you don't need open world to be a good video game.
No, but I think that like the Stormlight Archive fans would want that rather than to play out these specific battles in like a narrative. I don't know that it would make a very good first-person game.
Sure.
Especially if the reveal later on is that the Parshendi aren't actually the bad guys, to make a video like, because the audience, you guys probably already know this, or you know what I mean, and we don't. But like, if the reveal of the Stormlight Archive is that the Parshendi aren't actually the bad guys and that they're victims of this in some way, making a video game where you're just Dalinar and Shardplate just mowing them down doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Once you've already got that reveal,
yeah.
right? For us, it'd be fun because we'd get there and be like, oh God, what have we been doing? But for people who already know the truth about the Parshendi, picking up that video game and be like, I guess I'll just fucking murder these people.
It would be like an Attack on Titan video game. No spoilers.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Yeah.
That's, dangerously close. It's bad. God is dead. The true desolation comes. It's gonna be fucked up. We get to the epilogue with Wit, our favorite Wit.
How do you feel about the epilogue?
I thought it was interesting. I like it.
It's interesting. It's definitely not. It's interesting is not my problem with it.
Well, because this is the dude from the prologue, right? That got left behind. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love Hoyd being here for this. No, but
he drinks and he knows things.
Yeah, but he knows too much. I like this moment a lot because Talon shows up and it's very cool, right? He like uses his Shardblade to cut through the door. Everything about this moment rocks. But there's a part of me that's like, I don't know how I feel about Hoyd being so aware that he can just show up for important moments.
Well, and that is where the problem lies. How much does Wit actually know? Because if Wit is basically like Odium level god and knows what's going to happen, why?
Yeah.
Why? What's the point of it? Because Wit could then choose to influence things and then doesn't. And that's kind of just tired to me.
Well, and Wit being and like, it's sort of like, well, actually, no, I don't want to talk about that because that's a different franchise. But
spoilers.
I was going to talk about Cradle, but
no.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it yet. I'm not against it.
Mm-hmm.
I do find the way Hoyd was used in this book to be a little bit I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know yet either.
He's a little bit too omnipotent right now.
Yeah.
And that's just not my favorite kind of a character to be able to have like bouncing through very important scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I will make conclusions later. Cause I don't know. But it is cool. This guy shows up. He's like, I think the one of the 10 that was left behind. He's got a special sword that I think all the shard blades are kind of derived from. And he's been fighting.
What are they? They're called.
What is
his swords? They have a name. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Hoyd, but I did like the conversation about like what men value most, and like the conversation about art is very interesting.
Yeah.
And the like idea that like you just have to be the first person, honor blades, right? The first person to do something.
Yeah. That has a lot of truth to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it is valid, right? Like, think about how much great art we just kind of like toss aside because the author already wrote a story where the god died at the end of the first book, and the woman was approached the plot from a boat, hoping to meet someone that was going to change her standing back home, and if they just we got
to the end of the book, we did it, we made it.
Yeah, and then there's like an end note. We kind of talked about that already.
Well, we can talk about it in the football
where they have a ketek, which is basically just a poem that is a palindrome.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Race car.
Yep.
Is that a palindrome? Same forwards and backwards? That's a palindrome, right?
So I think so. We did it! We read a whole one. We're gonna be back. Not next week,
2
but
weeks
the
from
week
today.
after. So make sure you put your questions in the Discord questions channel. Please remember 3 questions per person. Please remember to separate them into separate separate comments so that they can individually be approved by the mods.
Yeah.
Because they will delete stuff that is spoilers. Do not spoil. Do not
or
lead.
like leading. Yeah.
Do not no like hint nudge nudge kind of thing. Like we'll get there when we get there. Please ask us stuff that is relevant to this book, or ask to make predictions. But don't be like, what do you think about the third sentence that Calvin said about this and how it could possibly relate to his mother coming back in... No. Don't do that. It's going to be a fun one. Since we have a week in between now and the full book recap, I might just re-audiobook this book for fun because I've really enjoyed it. So we'll see if any new ideas pop in my head.
Yeah.
I'm bored. Thank you so much for that super chat. Love the book club and getting new perspectives, especially on things I didn't always think about or agree with. Will you guys be doing chapter commissions for baby book clubs? Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, because some of them will be kind of impromptu. But things like Cradle will definitely keep commissions open for, and maybe The Expanse. As well. We'll see.
I'm not going to do chapter commission. I'm not going to do chapter commissions for Percy Jackson when I get through that series. I don't really have any interest in.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, we could keep talking about this book, but we are going to have a full book recap in 2 weeks. So let's save it for that. Clarence, do your high. Think about your high for a second while I say this. We do our high-low here at the end of the show, which is where Clarence says her high, I say my low, she says her low, I say my high, so we can commiserate over each other's lows and celebrate each other's highs. It's a thing that my family did when my parents got married, and they wanted us kids to care about each other because we were blended. And eventually, it took a few years, but we do now. It took some time. There was some work put into that. Clarence, what's your high?
My high is partially the book and partially because of the reaction. The being able to experience the moment of side carry. Yeah. And I'll pick one. Being able to experience the side carry moment with you and with you guys was really cool. I'm not a person who watches reactions. But I get wanting to see that moment. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I get this. I felt hyped about it. I thought it was really cool that we were doing it on camera to share it with you guys. So it is kind of like my high of the section, but also like a high of book club in a way. So Thank you for commissioning that, guys. Yeah, what's your low?
My low is also on camera. Was chapter 69. The moment where where Sadius reveals his reasonings, and I kind of went, yeah, it makes sense, but it was fine. I wanted the reason to feel as big a moment as the betrayal, and it just didn't. And so it just was it was a deflating moment in the climax of this book for me personally.
Yeah. I am struggling to pick a low. My low is that I don't understand why the fuck Zeth is doing what he's doing. Especially now that he is horrified by Taravangian so much that he's like, I could kill him. Aw, shucks, I can't. And I'm like, why though? Is it a magical thing, or is it just that you are holding yourself to...
He's truthless.
I don't get it. And so I'm a little bit tired of his shit. Yeah. Sorry, Zeth. I'm tired of your shit. If you don't want to be doing what you're doing, then stop doing it. Just don't do it. Don't kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. We'll get there when we get there, I'm sure. But I think, that's my low, is that I'm just kind of like, what are you doing? What's your high?
Dalinar, giving up the shard blade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason for the whole book. You know what I mean? That's the moment where Dalinar's worth it, even though Alethi society isn't. Is that I think without that there's no point in this book at all. Yeah. It is the hinge upon which I don't think I think that if you don't have that moment, I wouldn't care to read anymore. I think I'd be done with the series. Wow. Okay. I don't think that there would be a character worth following the Alethi Society into the future of this book series without that. I don't think that I would buy into the idea that there is something to improve here without Dalinar. That moment to me is the moment that made me want to read the rest of the series.
Okay.
It is the most important beat in this book to me.
Okay.
Because without it, it is just Alethi racism goes on.
Yeah.
And for me, like, the book is good. I think, like, I still would have enjoyed the end of the book.
I also butt in real quick. I also don't really love Hoyd, like, telling us that the Alethi have a justification for being racist.
Yeah, I felt weird about that too.
That was a weird throwaway line that I just really didn't need.
At least they have a reason for the racism. I'm also worried that, like, the Parshendi, when Yas is like, we enslaved the Parshendi, I'm like, I don't know that I need to keep reading about magical slavery.
Yeah. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
I like the book. I think it's very good. I think that I don't know that the book works without that moment. I think that moment is
moment's pretty banger.
I think that it is when he sticks that sword in the stone. It is the moment that, like, is the. I think it is the most important in this moment in the entire book.
Yeah.
I think it is what holds the entire book together, and I think that it is what gives this post-apocalyptic kind of world a genuine person that you can follow moving forward.
Yeah.
And like, maybe if that moment was something else, it would also work, right? Like, I'm not saying that it had to specifically be him giving up a shard blade, but something had to happen in that moment for there to be a payoff of Kaladin's feelings, for there to be a reason to think that Alethi society can change, for all of these things. It all comes down to that beat. It doesn't necessarily have to be the shard blade. It just, there has to be something in that beat, and it is the right thing in that beat to justify this story being of value. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I follow you.
And so, yeah, no, I do. I think that, like, if this book had ended with Kaladin getting fucked and Sadeas having Bridge 4 again, I would be kind of done with it.
Oh, yeah. No, that would feel bad. No, this was great. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if the book had been like, well, Dalinar is going to spend book 2 trying to get Kaladin out of being Sadeas' bridgeman.
No,
I would have been done with it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I don't need to see this cycle keep playing out. I needed a moment of change. And that moment is such a big moment of change that it is, in a book that I do think has pacing problems, but I think is also really well written throughout. That moment to me is the moment that convinced me that I'm in for the long haul on this series.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, in about 12 minutes, can I read? 12 minutes. Go get his fucking gamer subs.
Yeah, gamersubs.gg. Coupon code CLAROS, CLAROOS.
Yeah, you want that waifu cup? You go get your favorite flavor, and you also get a waifu cup. Like, what could go wrong? That seems like an amazing deal.
If you like the video, like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
Syl. She's fully grown. You know, she probably need a lot of calories to go through puberty.
They grow up so fast.
Yeah, but proud of you.
Yeah, if you want to go give us a 5-star review anywhere on the internet, please do. Please do. Blue says they're boycotting gamer subs till they bring back the grape flavor. But have you tried Anime Girl Thigh?
Honestly, though, that one is like unfucking real.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll message my rep and tell them that we want the grape flavor back.
Yeah. If you don't like smut, go. Goodbye. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the full book recap of this book. Sorry, this was a 4-hour book club. That's crazy.
I have like 3 tubes of Anime Girl Thigh. You got the caffeinated version and the non-caffeinated version and then the backup, right? Yeah, 100%.
Titty milk is also great.
Titty milk, also fantastic, but I ran out. Yeah. I am out of titty milk. I'm going to have to buy more titty milk.
Yeah, or get on that firecracker routine. Let's do Smut Corner. Smut Corner, Canada. Why buy a mattress anywhere else?
Ding.
Ours are crusty and filled with cum. The sexual exploits of Navani, Kholin, and Dalinar are legendary.
Yes. He gets his name, the Blackthorn, actually, from his sexual exploits and not his martial exploits.
Yeah, his penis is weirdly like pointy and at the top.
It looks like a butt plug.
It goes in an ass real easy. Yeah. It really is shocking to watch someone in shard plate fuck someone who isn't in shard plate. The level of endurance that they have, the physical strength, the ability to just fucking rearrange Navani's insides is something she has been missing for 6 years.
Navani's really into being dominated because she's so dominating in her everyday life that she actually puts on all the shard plate without the breastplate so that she can be pinned down while Dalinar's just there fondling those boobies, you know? Like tweaking those nipples.
That's so funny. That's actually so good.
Right?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's why her safe word is breastplate.
Well, that's the end of the show, y'all. We will see you all next time. Do something nerdy night. Bye. Bye.